I'm going to open the Board of Selectmen meeting for April 9th, 2019. We're starting a little early to meet with the auditor. So first thing I'm going to do is a roll call though. Hal?
Hal Kreider.
Dave Ruth?
Beth Boudreaux.
Scott Breyer?
Matt Fry, present.
Okay, so we got full board.
Yeah.
Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance real quick.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to get a motion to go into non-public under RSA 91A, paragraph 2, 3A and C.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I'm going to do a roll call. Hal?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Beth?
Yes.
Yeah, I vote yes.
Matt Fry, yes.
Yes. We are now in non-public session.
Make a motion to come out of non-public meeting?
Second.
Okay. I'm going to do a roll call. Hal Kreider?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Beth?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Matt?
Yes.
Yes. We are now at a non-public. If I could get a motion to seal the minutes indefinitely.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Dave, second by Hal. All in favor of sealing the minutes indefinitely signify by saying yes.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Now we'll go back to our regular agenda.
Scott, is there anywhere on the agenda where we can discuss saying yes versus I or yay?
I can say C.
You can,
You don't like yes?
He said we had to say yes, so I'm just,
well,
You could say affirmative.
yeah, I've done affirmative. Yeah, you can say whatever you want, Hal, as long as I know what you're trying to say.
okay, I just wanted to check as chair.
Should we send out for pizza?
So I guess the first thing on here is, oh God, discussion of the selectmen stipends.
Oh, jeez. Well, hey, as related to those, I got my documents.
Okay.
I'd like you to look at them and return them, please.
Oh, yeah. You can give them to me now. Figure's
Since
not
I
like
can't
you
get out of the
talk about
country
money.
without that.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we don't want you leaving the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that's your choice.
An American passport?
Sorry.
Which one did you give us?
Wait, is that the one that's blue?
I know it. If you're not a legal citizen, you only need one form of identification to get a job. If you're a citizen, you need two.
I checked up
And
on
if you want to
Scott.
vote, you don't need anything.
I checked on Scott's comment. You do have to be a U.S. citizen to hold office.
I knew that.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought that was wrong, but
I didn't give you my license and
I
stuff.
stand
because
corrected,
I didn't give
Scott.
that to
Thank you.
Sandy last year.
Barack Obama was
It should be in my
president.
file.
Here we go again.
oh, man. Yay, jeez. Okay. Okay, so
Kidding.
That was
so
just a
selectmen
joke.
stipends.
I got stuck.
All right, what are we discussing now? Acceptance of minutes? No?
So, in a nutshell, we have $8,500. And the previous, just giving you a little history,
Yep.
previous practice was, when you had 3 members, it was 25, 25, and 35 for the chair. So.
Which is 85, and we have about 86 in there.
No, we
I
have
think
85.
85.
It's default budget.
Adopted budget, 8670. But anyway, it's,
Okay. Well, the past practice was 2,500, 2,500, and 3,500.
Okay.
So now you got to take that and divide it by 5. So what's the board's pleasure? How do you want to divvy that up?
Well, can we just reduce all the numbers by
Yeah.
3/5? You know, keep. Oh no, that math does not work.
5 into 8 is 1, 5 into 36 is what, 7?
It's
5 into 17
1734.
is 3.
1734, so I
Yeah.
had that figured out before we started.
So make everybody
We have
17?
this thing called a calculator now on the phone.
Yeah, well, I still,
Wow.
I made my little division thing like in third grade. I
And you
did it.
teach math, so I trust
There
you.
you go.
Well, that, I mean, and again, you could either, if you added them all up, if we went to 25, 25, 25, what's that, 13.5?
Well, that's
So
what
you
we.
can't-
orig-
we don't
that-
wanna-
that's
that's-
what- Well, that's what we originally
Yeah.
put in the budget. but
That
it
was in
didn't
the
pass.
budget. But now, okay, and actually, if it was in the budget, and then it was in the default budget, but on things that are actually under a contract, the town gave us a contract to put in 2 more selectmen. So it probably should have stayed in the default budget, but that's another point for,
Well, no, that's,
in other words, the people
voted.
voted realizing that. But anyway, I'm
I
not
won't go
asking
into
for
that.
that.
So you could have,
It's about 1,600 times 4 is 6,400.
well, if you do 1,500, I mean, if you want, and I don't really care, I'm just throwing it out there. If you, wanna pay the chair a little bit more, or, you wanna split it up evenly, I think if we did 15, if everybody got 1,500 and the chair got 2,500, I think that comes out to 8,500.
It does.
But I don't care. So whatever the pleasure of the
No, I
board
think
is.
that's,
I think the chair deserves the extra step.
yeah.
In the school
Because
board,
it's gonna really.
school board was an extra 500.
Hope it does.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
You got,
Yeah, so
I'd
15,
wanna
15,
leave that
15.
And you can do that,
25.
and then with the understanding that you would put it back into the budget for 5 next October, when we start the budget season.
Oh, I think we should go back to, when we put the budget, I would say 35 for the chair.
That's a separate discussion, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but
okay.
then
But
with
for now, it's 15, 15, 15, 15, 25. Got it, okay.
Do we have does somebody wanna make that a motion?
I'll make that motion to pay the chair 2,500 and everybody else 1,500.
Second.
Second, moved by Hal, second by Matt. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? No, okay, motion carries 5-0.
It was worth paying you the extra just for that, Scott.
Okay, yeah.
I don't really care. I mean, if you wanted to split 5, I really don't, but that's fine.
No, I think that's
very,
it's extra work.
courteous of everybody.
It is extra work, it's extra training. I mean, you don't make any money, but you cover expenses. At the school, we eliminated mileage expenses and just said, yes, you pay.
So let's see, next thing is acceptance of,
Okay.
sorry.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I'll have to, at another time, I'll bring it up.
All right, we got acceptance of minutes, March 5th. I'll accept a motion to approve those minutes, unless, motion to, discuss the minutes.
Okay. I do have a couple
I'll
of
make a motion
things.
to,
What date did you say?
March 5th, so it would
March
have been
5th.
before you were on the board. I'll second it, because I was on the board.
yep.
All right.
Wait, if those were the ones that came out in the pack, Dave was there for that one. I was not there.
The
for-
5th, he
Oh,
wasn't, that was prior to
No,
election.
That's
Oh,
prior
the
to
5th, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
March 5th.
So, and I believe these were corrected, and I read them based
Yep.
on what we had discussed. I don't have any, I think they're okay.
Yeah, they're okay.
So, is there any I'll put out, we're in discussion now, is there any amendments? Okay, seeing none, I'm gonna, all in favor of approving these, minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? Is there any abstentions?
Abstain.
I said aye.
You did say aye? Okay.
Dave said aye. I
So
believe
we
to
got
make it
three,
three.
you can vote on them if you want. Three,
Reason? Go ahead.
0, and 2 abstentions, for the record. Okay, now the next one is, sorry, let's put this over my agenda. March 19th,
Ones we received this evening.
yeah, so nobody probably had a chance to review those.
Yeah, I think I did.
Ah,
That's what we were talking about,
All right, let me find my things.
line 31.
Oh, it's not that,
Page 2, line
page
31.
2. It should say recycling, not recreation committee.
Okay. Well,
No, that's the wrong.
Do we need a motion?
yeah, we need a
Discussion.
motion. Motion to discuss the minutes.
Move to discuss the minutes of March 19th.
Okay,
Yeah,
Matt,
all right.
and then do I have a
Second,
second?
second.
Okay.
Hold on just a second. I want to, oh, go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead. Second.
so you got a
Page 2.
second.
Yeah.
You second, Beth?
Yep.
All right. Go ahead. Any
Page 2.
amendments? Page 2.
Line 31,
Yeah?
What, I got a question prior to that.
Yeah,
okay.
So I got this one that says March 19th.
I think these
And
are
then
the.
I got
isn't
this
the
one that says
official
March
ones? These are the
19th.
ones just.
those
the
ones
one-
actually are March 5th.
You'll see it's the same as March
The
5th
same.
if you look at the content.
There was a mistake. Diane printed out the wrong ones.
Wait, this one's,
This one is wrong.
The ones that were sitting at your place tonight were correct. The date was a mistake.
so the one that was in the pack was wrong.
Correct.
Okay.
It was just, it was March 5th redone, but with the different date.
Okay.
So then we got these this evening,
And we got also March,
March 26th as well.
okay. Did we get the 19th? Oh, I see. She,
It just looks like it's very similar.
she gave us the 5th and quote the 19th, but it really wasn't the 19th.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I got it now. Now I'm on the same page. Okay, so I didn't have a chance to read these, but I'll,
This is when we appointed Dave.
yeah, in his absence. Yeah. I got him.
Did we make the correction on line 31?
I don't think we officially have yet.
So line 31,
Page 2.
page 2.
Page 2, line 31
Yeah.
needs to read recycling committee, not recreation committee.
Okay, is there any other amendments or changes?
Well,
Well, I guess Dave had that question about whether,
2 is a pass or not, so
for on page 3.
On page 3,
I'll leave it go.
I mean, it's worth asking the question to I keep saying GFOA, Local Government Center. So I'm not overly concerned about it,
No, just,
but I think that the fact that, it's a question we should ask. Is there anything else somebody wants to comment or
I didn't
amend?
see anything.
Okay, seeing no more discussion, all in favor of approving the minutes as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? So, motion carries 5-0. And then,
I like the little box on the top.
put the approval thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I don't know why I keep doing this, putting it on my agenda.
Minutes of March 26th.
Does anybody want to move the minutes from March 26th for discussion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Okay, Dave, motion,
Yes.
second by Matt. Any discussion, amendments on those minutes?
Page
Yes.
5. Oh, okay,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead,
Dave.
Matt.
Nope, go ahead.
Page 5,
Yeah,
line 30
okay, page 5, line 30.
is, instead of forum, should say quorum.
Oh, yeah, that should be a Q. Okay, anything else on page 6? Anything on page 7? Anything on page 8?
Wait a minute, can we back up to page 7?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, that conversation was road agent Boudreau. Line 31, page 7.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, road agent, yep. Control.
Page 7 was motion February 12th. What the hell?
That would also need to change on line 33 on the same page.
Page what?
Oh, yeah.
Page 7?
Why do they call it road agent? Ah, that's weird.
Wait a minute. If you're
So
on page...
wherever it says Hodge, it should be Boudreau.
No, whatever. If you look at line 2, February 12th. So these aren't the 27th.
No, that's the acceptance of the February 12th minutes.
Okay.
So acceptance of minutes, motion. Okay? And then, so that's just saying, what the motion was to accept those minutes. And then we had a motion for the February 5th minutes. But then when you, like, what he pointed out, it's saying, road agent Hodgson, and it should be road agent, Boudreau. Okay, any other comments on the, all right, okay, so we fixed the 7, any comments on page 8?
No.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Something I thought it was off, but,
Are you okay there? You're fine with the minutes?
yeah, it was something I saw that was off, but that's okay.
All right.
It's just a,
How about page 9? Anybody want to make any changes? Okay, and page 10. Okay, and then page 11.
So I do have a question on page 11.
Yeah,
So just the motion on line 12,
yes.
if that was in fact the way it was motioned in terms of the intent to use the funds from the sale of the 1 ton, I mean, did we motion it that way to?
Hold on, to keep the old truck and sell the 1 ton with the intention of,
I thought the funds went into.
you actually aren't allowed to do that because the funds would go into the.
They go right back to the
general
general
fund.
fund. That was my concern. And I don't think that's the way we made the motion, to be
No.
honest. I think the motion was simply to sell the 1 ton.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think you're correct. The motion was to sell the, so just, I'd cross out to keep the old truck. It'd say sell the 1 ton, the motion was to sell the 1 ton.
Cross out with the intention to use
Yeah, we
funds.
strike everything after 1 ton.
Okay, everybody all set with that?
Yes.
Okay, with that being said, all in favor of the, approving the amended minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is there any opposed? Okay, no abstentions. So those are approved with a vote to 5-0. Okay. Do you have any assessing forms or application?
I do. Let's start with a report of a timber cut. And it is Long Pond Road, Northwood, New Hampshire, map 207, lot 16, map 212, lot 65. Exact acreage of cut 50, yield taxes 318.04.
Have all taxes been paid?
Yes. And that's what I did check with we have somebody covering for assessing this past week.
Okay, so this is the James Farm, Charlie Marino,
The what?
the timber cut.
It's the timber cut.
Yeah, by Charlie Marino on the James Farm.
It is,
Barbara Ham,
Barbara
is that
Ham
the
is
James
present.
Farm?
Well, it looks like it is, yeah. But she is, the James Farm owner is in Wisconsin.
Okay.
That's why, is it?
yeah, Barbara Ham is the owner.
Yeah, but, okay, I can look on the map.
All right. Does someone want to make a motion to approve that?
Well, prove it, a discussion? Just,
Well, we have to make a motion to
yeah,
discuss.
okay. Yep.
So moved.
Okay, do I have Beth second? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Dave. Discussion.
Yeah, discussion. exact acreage, 50 acres, is that a normal, anybody knows that like a normal yield for whatever the? I don't know, I'm just curious.
No,
We
I
can
don't
find
know,
out.
is that how much they harvested, I guess, 50 acres?
Well, it says exact acreage of cut, 50.
That's usually, I mean, that's, when we see these
No,
things, it could be
just-
all over the place, but,
They're all over the place.
I mean,
All right.
they're different amounts.
They're not getting a lot of good wood out of there.
Just curious how we,
No, it's
what
a
the
good
tax
point.
is or how they figure it, that was all.
Yeah.
So maybe something that we could have a little knowledge sometime.
Could
No-
you-
No emergency for me, but
Yeah.
just be good to.
What would you like?
So let's clarify, your question is it 50 acres of normal?
Got 50 acres, so the yield was 150 cords. We get 50
Oh,
cents a cord,
Doesn't it,
a board foot or something.
doesn't it like, might depend if it's softwood, hardwood?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
There's a
Chart.
form.
There's a chart, yeah.
Where's the chart?
We get cut 150,000 from the town budget, and if we can find a way to keep
Cut down the
pecking
trees?
and cutting down more trees, get more money, I
Pass
don't
it
know.
down.
That's all.
For this particular one, I wouldn't say this in all cases, but Charlie Marino's very well respected, so if he filled it out, if Charlie Marino's the one doing it.
I'm not questioning,
Oh.
I'm just saying, is that what is normal? What do we, I'm just curious.
It varies.
Yeah.
So, for example, I cut 20 acres on mine, and I think the tax was like 3 times that.
I'm gonna cut down an old apple tree, will I have to pay anything?
No,
Okay,
because till you cover your expenses, you'll be in the hole.
probably.
It's on the net, is it not?
Just,
Yeah.
I was just
So till
curious
you-
how they figure it.
Some value of course.
I mean, if I register a car, I know the state's got a formula and.
If,
It's after their
is
expenses,
there any
though?
more discussion?
No.
Okay, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all set, I was
Okay.
just.
No, I want to make sure you feel, you guys, okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next one.
Okay, the next one is a standard veterans exemption. It meets the qualifications. The standard veterans credit in this town is $250. And it's for somebody who lives at 14 Bryan Road in Northwood, New Hampshire.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
second.
Okay, second by Matt. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
The next item I have is a report of, it's a gravel, report of excavated material, and it's the gravel tax of $281.50. And so, and that address is 1090 First New Hampshire Turnpike.
State's business.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
Dave, second by
Second.
Al. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next one?
Okay, that's it.
Oh, that's it?
That's it,
Nice.
those.
Oh, here it is,
Okay.
it's all right here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah, they messed it all out.
Somebody wanna, move the manifest? Please.
Would you like me to give you the information first?
Sure.
It's payroll manifest. It's number 25887, dated 4/10/19, and the amount of $55,208.80.
Okay,
So moved?
moved by Beth. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Matt. You might want to tell, second, okay, is there any further discussion?
That's why I signed little.
Okay, seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Hey, you should tell Savannah she should put 5 lines on here now.
Okay.
Just a suggestion.
Make sure to only use half the line there on the
I
bottom.
know, I took the whole
Oh,
line.
you're the chair.
Oh, okay.
He's a line hog.
There's
Just-
3 pages of signature.
Here you go.
Thanks.
Make sure you can sign
Okay.
it.
That's yours.
Oh, thanks. All right. Do you have any purchase orders?
We do not tonight.
Oh, nice. All right. Do you have any miscellaneous signatures or approvals?
I do. Okay, I have from New Hampshire Electric Co-op, petition and poll licensure for your signature. It is, sign the copies of the town, copy for records. It's an annual poll license,
Okay.
and it is poll number 3714 on Lynn Lane.
Okay. Do I have a motion? Okay, a motion from Beth. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Sign on both pages. Which one here?
You go back in here after.
There's one. Then I have from Linda, she wrote this, gentlepersons, the Northwood Conservation Commission voted to recommend that commission member Tom Chase be reappointed for the term of 3 years. Mr. Chase is interested in continuing to serve on the commission. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second?
Okay. Motion by Dave, second by Hal. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Okay.
There's 3 in this packet.
Oath of office forms
Thank you.
for the Town Facilities Committee. Greg Bain,
Dang.
Fred Bassett, and Bruce Hodgson.
Do I have a motion to approve those?
Are we having a meeting?
Greg Bain, Fred Bassett, and Bruce Hodgson.
And that's for facilities?
Town Facilities Committee, 'cause they were expired.
Is that the full committee, or is that just those expiring this year?
I believe they were all for three-year terms to ending 2022.
So there's others on the, yeah,
There are others on that,
okay.
and we need more lines on this committee.
So moved?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Matt. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, also the Highway Advisory Committee needs some new appointments too for 3-year terms ending in 2022. Steve Bailey, Bruce Hodgkins, and Joe McCaffrey. So we need those motions.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Were these the same people that were on the committee before, or are they any of these new appointees?
These are all,
Discussion's over. No, just kidding.
Keep
From my
her in
underst-
order there, Scott.
from my understanding, they're the same people. She did some research and realized that a lot of the people had expired. They didn't expire, but their membership had
All
expired.
right, did I actually?
Thank you.
Okay, so just technicality, we did take a vote on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 5-0, okay. Just wanted to make sure, because, okay. Anything else?
Oh, I have a procedural question.
I would suggest that we put 5 lines on this.
I just made a note of that.
I'm squeezing my name in small.
So on the purchase order, when do you actually have those ready for us to look at?
It's when we have a purchase order, we just didn't have any this week.
What are we signing here?
Payroll.
These are
Payroll.
payroll.
Let's pick
So when is that ready to look at? I guess what I'm wondering is, I feel a little uncomfortable just getting it passed down to me.
I agree with you. I have
So
the
I'd like
same.
to look at it in advance,
So
so.
last week was POs. Like I
Last
looked
week-
at last week's.
Last week, accounts payable is it's usually an off week. We may have some accounts payable tomorrow, because Jen has been doing catch-up still. Payroll is always done, on Monday or Tuesday, because payroll is paid on Wednesday.
Let me say it a different way.
Okay?
For any of these where we're talking about
Who's the third
dollars
thing
or
I
money,
signed?
I'm uncomfortable coming to the meeting and signing.
The top.
So
the
I
top
want to
three
know,
papers.
at
When
what
can you come
point
in
can
and
I
look
come
at it?
in
Stapled
and
together?
look at them
1, 2, and then
and
it was-
review them
I'm
at
looking
my
for the little
own
10 for the
pace?
third.
Oh, yeah.
Tuesday, after Tuesday, usually late morning.
The day of the meeting?
Payroll, yeah, if we have a meeting, sometimes we have a meeting the week of the payroll, but we have to pay people on Wednesday.
Just not payroll, just anything in general.
All accounts
where we're-
payable.
Where we're signing for something, whether it's the taxes, whether it's the exemptions, anything like that. I'd just like to know when I can come in advance of the meeting. And the day of the meeting's a little bit tight.
Exemptions and those type of things are in your packet, and I
Yeah,
don't
those I
always see them.
saw, so those are fine.
In terms of payroll, we have to pay people on Wednesday, so they have to be ready by noon time on Tuesday.
So what she's saying is, to very rarely have payroll ready for your review prior to Tuesday morning.
We wouldn't have it ready for Tuesday morning, sometimes we get it.
Okay, so payroll would have to be Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And then purchase orders,
You mean accounts payable?
Accounts
Yeah.
payable.
Accounts payable, usually, again, it would be Tuesday because it goes out on
Okay.
Wednesday.
I usually come on Tuesday after school.
I mean, usually, if like, ideally, one of the reasons we start the meetings at 6 is so if somebody's so inclined, they can come in at like, before the 6 o'clock and review the files.
And they sit out there in that selectmen's table, and they're out there.
Yeah.
okay.
And you
Yeah, I
just
just
grab-
don't like coming to the meeting and
Yeah, no, I get it.
signing.
I get it.
Like the accounts, I spent like maybe half an hour. I was going through and stuff. I had a couple questions.
Yeah.
Accounts payable, for me, should be we meet twice a month, so accounts payables for me should be done probably that Monday before the meeting, so we can sign them that Tuesday, and we don't have to make a special trip in. I always come in a half hour early at my other meetings,
Your other
and
job.
and sit down and go through everything, because I'm not comfortable doing this either, because I'm trying to listen to you and I'm trying to make sure I sign. I have a problem. Payroll I can understand, because payroll you do every 2 weeks.
Our meetings
So
are
that's-
on
it-
payroll weeks, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes it might fall, so you don't have to come in, you're coming in for the meeting, but payroll. But for me, I would think that we're gonna get an email that says payroll's ready, come on in, or,
We can do that, we can do that. I
We
mean,
used to
pay,
get emails saying like the accounts were here or the payroll was here.
and,
That'd be
well, a
helpful.
phone call or an email, that's how,
Email works best for me.
yeah.
okay.
Just, because now if I know I gotta look for every Tuesday, at least,
Yeah.
if I come in at 8, because I'm coming good conquered, and it's not gonna be ready, then now I gotta make another trip, it's
The goal
crazy.
is to get back on the every other schedule
Yeah.
of accounts payable. So we're trying to get some bills caught up, and
Right.
I don't anticipate having them both on the same week.
Yeah.
So that would be a lot easier.
No, again, where we came from the school, it was kind of organized that, we got accounts payable like at every meeting to sign. We never had to go in really and sign those. But payroll, you always had to have signed, and probably 60% of the time, it always fell right at a meeting, so we didn't have any problem. Then we would get an email or a phone call, say, hey, can somebody come in and sign? But
Well, sorry.
for payroll, I just foresee with 3 signatures, because I went through it before, it's gonna be tough on sometimes during summer vacations and things that you get 3 people. So we must have a backup plan, I would hope.
Like what happens,
Oh, on the payroll.
Yeah,
I mean,
payroll, accounts payable don't problem.
Payroll has to get paid.
Correct.
So a lot of times you might come in and sign it after the fact,
That's fine, yeah.
but we can't withhold payroll.
No,
because-
I understand.
Right.
I assume that's
But it
gonna
can be
happen.
paid without the 3 signatures.
I have signed those through an email before.
Hypothetically, by pure, technically, a majority of the board should be signing anything before it gets paid.
Yeah.
Realistically,
Okay,
I mean,
Yeah. Well, we have to work through that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
there's.
all right,
Well, it's gonna happen
But technically,
next pay
Next
period, right?
technicality is the majority of the board has to sign off.
technically,
on it.
most of the RSAs regarding all of us were done in 1897, have never caught up to,
Yes, they haven't been,
because now we have,
Modernized for
now we can
technology.
email in and they can stamp it for us.
If you, like, normally payroll is done the week we have a meeting.
Okay.
So, but we have to pay people, our payday is Wednesday, so it has to be done on Wednesday.
So what are we gonna do, Heather, for the next meeting where we don't meet on payday or the day before payday?
If they will email me, the people who aren't here, and send me something by email or in writing, then they'll take that.
oh, if you can send something by email or text, saying I
I
approve.
think email, right? They have to print it out.
I have to print it out and attach it to the.
Well, no, I'm
minutes.
asking for specifically, you know, we're here now, we're not meeting on the 26th, we're meeting on the
30.
Right.
30th.
So if you came in to sign, Scott, because if we're not here, we can send an email. That would be our, you should print that out as our signature.
And it attaches.
For
the-
the 26th, okay.
attached to
So
the
you will make
manifest.
arrangements to do that?
I will tell them when the payroll's ready. I'll say, I might send an email to Beth and say the total of the manifest is X. I need an okay to pay. And then she'll email me back and say, whatever. You know,
Yes.
what's the number of this and okay to pay. I might take a picture of it and send it to her with my phone, which is something I've been
Okay.
known to do.
So next 2 weeks from now, we have to go through that drill.
Yeah, for those who are not around.
All right.
Well, there's no meeting on the next,
But if the rest of you are around and can come in, that's great.
Right, you just come in and sign payroll.
right, not at a meeting, though. We're not meeting,
No, and then the week after, when you do meet, you're gonna physically say, or read it into the minutes that you approve that manifest.
okay, got it.
Question?
Dave?
Yeah, I have things in front of me, they say final payroll check register, and I look through that and I can kind of understand that. But I have one here that says an earnings edit list, and I see some people, well, the one that really jumped out at me was a high price one, and it's like 0, 40, 0. You know, somebody else might have 80 at 15, 53, $1,242. So if, I'm just wondering what,
Can I see that?
yeah. It's clean. About 2/3 of the way down. I just don't understand what that form is.
Is it,
Yeah, I'm seeing that, and I see 0, and there's a laborer above here, and I see figures. I just didn't know, and I didn't know what this is.
cause, oh, okay, so down, okay. Could you look into that? Cause I don't know what it is
Can I
either.
just see what we're talking about? I might be able to answer it. It could be direct, is it a person? Is it direct deposits? Or is it hard checks?
I think, no, I think it's like if there's a differential in the,
Which one are we talking about?
Okay. There's a laborer, laborer,
You wanna start signing this pile?
pay rate,
Or start reading it over? It's about the,
and it's like 0, 40.
assigned to the different
I
committees.
just,
Keep
and I
it in
just don't know what
sequence, that way-
earnings edit
Yes,
is.
Do you have the done piles?
detail.
I do,
Yeah,
right.
I kind of guessed that.
well, that one, yeah, that's
You want-
160
you want
though,
that?
but the right above that,
Right
they went
above
for
it
like
is zero.
$1,000 something.
That one above it, it's 2 weeks. That's his regular pay.
No, not at that price.
No, at that
15.
price.
You could be the keeper of the done basket.
That goes when you're done with it.
Did you say done or done?
Done.
All right. So now we're at town administrator's report.
I got a bunch of stuff. All right,
And these are all the,
don't fall asleep.
oops, sorry, you're gonna have to sign that
Okay.
one. I just, we need that one back to sign, I think.
Oh, okay, but I'm gonna find out about it, okay.
These are just all-
Budget items.
I'm gonna wait till the end of the meeting. if you don't mind.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
The
don't.
department heads will be meeting on April 15th to review each of their budgets and the town's budget as a whole. At this point, I'll be asking department heads where they think they can make cuts,
That's the one I
where they know they may be over, and any concerns they have. This budget is very tight. We have expenses that have been discussed tonight that have not been encumbered or posted. We need to tighten our belts and find ways to economize throughout the town. I think we're all hearing that. I think we're all concerned about that, and we're all working together as closely together as a team. I don't think I can say this strongly enough, that we are a team. If one department is hurting, we're all hurting, and we're all trying to work together on this. I've had departments that come to me and say, well, if I give up this, can we all get this? So we're all working together. So I just want to assure you that we're all meeting in the afternoon, and
April,
15th, it's Monday. And that's what we're trying to do. And then hopefully by the next meeting, we'll be able to come and say, this is where we are.
so right now, when I looked at the budget, we're at, we spent 27%, was that what?
Let me see. Yeah, it's about,
So a little over 25%. Was there any something significant expended? It's not crazy over, but is
it's
it?
not crazy, but what worries me is like we had somebody here tonight that had already told me he's a little over $8,000. And that's not in the budget.
Yeah.
So there are things that I know that are out there, you know that are out there, that we didn't plan on.
Uh-huh.
And so we need to be looking at things that how can we tighten up. And that's why I said to you, okay, what can I cut costs on? Like if I know we have a contractor that we're paying $35 an hour, how can we bring that down? Can we bring it down to, even if it's $26? That's $9 an hour, but it's something.
But it adds up at the end.
That's
Yeah,
at
it
the end.
adds up.
So we're trying to be as proactive as we can, and we're trying to work together.
Is there any questions about that one particular thing she brought up about the April 15th meeting?
Well, yeah, I guess it's related. So the budget you send us is the default budget, is that correct?
Yes,
Yes.
that's the budget.
That is our budget. That is our
That's
adopted
okay.
budget.
And there's a list of encumbrances,
There's a list of items that have been,
encumbered, right?
the encumbrances aren't in this. This is not the encumbrances. This is our town budget that we're operating under right now.
What
I'm
are we
looking
getting out
at
of-
the adopted budget column, okay?
Yeah.
Then I come over to the encumbrances
You
column.
must have encumbrances now that you entered into at the beginning of the year.
I've got it here too.
Yeah, you have encumbrances now. Any open purchase order, that money would be
Yeah.
encumbered.
Right.
So those encumbrances aren't the encumbrances as
Those are the
of,
encumbrances as of the encumbrance, those would be the POs and the contracts we've entered into
so
since
far.
January 1st.
Okay, so have we resolved the encumbrance
I don't think
list?
that's been finalized. I know we have an encumbered amount, but we don't know if that's everything or. Because
What's
we
the-
know we do know there's some items that did not make it on, there were some bills that we're not sure made it to the encumbrance
No,
list.
we know that.
You know that.
We know that, and the auditors know that, and I mean,
So what are we up to now relative to the 208 that we approved?
that's the last number we know.
Well, you just said you found other
We
things.
found other things, but we haven't added
What
to.
was the actual amount that we
You
encumbered?
encumbered
$208,000.
$208,000.
All right. and
208 or 80?
8.
All right, and
208
we
and
found
change.
that we owe more than, we have bills that we found that weren't
Yeah,
encumbered.
we keep finding little, and so far, the last week or so, they've been little ones. They've been $1,000
Is there any
here.
ways, because we're discussing, is there any way at some point in time we can get a list of the stuff that should have been encumbered that wasn't encumbered?
I honestly don't think we will know that until after we get through with the audit, the end of the audit.
Okay.
Well, give us some sense, though. What's the dollar value of the ones that you found so far?
Well, we know we're up to 208. I found this week another probably $3,000 or $4,000.
Okay, that's this week, but what did you find
Have you
total?
found anything more than the 208 from previous, we come at 208, is it?
208 and another 3,000 or 4,000, so we're up to about 212.
Okay,
Okay,
that's not
yeah,
earth shattering.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any more questions regarding this matter?
No, we're talking about budgets and everything else. I would like to meet with you sometime before I go to the budget meeting next week
Okay.
with a
Is it
few
the
questions and
16th?
stuff.
Yeah.
I'll call you and set it up. Okay, thank you.
Another issue that I need to talk to the board about is this. Friday afternoons, upstairs, which is just this part of the town hall, in the selectman's office, the selectman's office on Friday afternoons is very rarely utilized. The last 3 Fridays for the entire day, we've had a total of 6 walk-ins, and we've been keeping track. which is an average of 2 a day. Of those 3, those walk-ins, they were looking for the town clerk tax collector. Town clerk tax collector is not open on Friday. The remaining 3 were looking for departments that were also not open. In addition, we did have people delivering the mail, so I will say that. On Friday, the town clerk tax collector is closed, the code enforcement office is closed, the assessor is not here, Linda, the board secretary, is not scheduled to be here, the welfare person is not here, the interim finance administrator is a part-time position, they're not here. So the land use secretary is here and the town administrator here are the only people scheduled to be here after 2 o'clock. So that's me and the land use secretary. If one of those 2 individuals has a meeting, a conference, is sick, or has a day off, then an hourly person is supposed to come in and sit with that person to keep the selectman's office open in the afternoon, because you're not supposed to be the only person in the building. So basically one of us needs a babysitter. It's kind of silly. But it's a safety issue. I'd like to ask the board that we pilot or trial the option of closing the selectman's office, the top office, at noon on Fridays. The doors would be locked. Staff would be able to work without interruption and possibly alone, without the additional cost of staff. Again, it's a cost saving, or calling a staff person to be there. Many towns have gone to 4 days or 4.5 day schedules, and this way we're not cutting back on people's hours, but allowing be more efficient in time.
You're gonna have downtime so that they can work. Yeah.
So it's, I mean, like the other day, this particular last Friday, I didn't call anybody in, but Linda would have been the only person I could have called in. I was the only one here because we had a meeting Friday night. So I was here by myself. So I think, prior to that, Linda came in on 3 Friday afternoons to sit with me just for security. In the near future, we have this coming up again for 3 certain Fridays because people have days off. So, I mean, I just don't think it's an efficient use of time to bring in people who are hourly paid employees to come in and sit here on a Friday afternoon from whatever it is. So what we do is just lock the doors at noontime. Frankly,
Okay. So you would still be here, but the door would be locked.
Or, I mean, usually it's the 3rd Friday of the month, I go to the New Hampshire Municipal Administrators Meeting, so I might not be here on a Friday afternoon. But
Who's ever here, the door would get locked at 12.
Yep.
People who are employees could still come in and work. And if there's only one here,
They still work.
they could
So
still
it's not a
work.
safety issue.
There isn't a safety issue, but then we don't have
Because
to
you
worry
have
about it.
nobody coming in the building.
I'd be in favor of closing the building completely on Fridays. It used to be closed on Wednesdays up to about 20 years ago.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
And they used that same thing. They did come in and finish some work, or if town administrator at the time probably decided, hey, you got to get this project finished. You're still going to be under hours. You can come in and work Wednesday and nobody's going to bother
I
you.
can get very productive.
Yeah.
I mean, people say to me, you're in here late some nights, and I am, because there's a lot that gets done. Between like 4 and 6, there's a lot I get done,
Yeah.
because nobody's here.
The other thing is you want to kind of keep all of us from coming in pestering people in the office, I would imagine, too.
Well, I was just going to ask, would that be a good time for us to come in, or is that not a good time for us to come in?
I'm not going to say a word.
Not that, I wouldn't come in on Fridays because I'm busy on Fridays, but
So Friday's the
Just
day he
looking at
wants
the,
in.
I don't know what they're talking about. I never come in here on Fridays.
You don't unless I call you.
Actually, an awful lot of businesses now have Fridays where they close. Summer, it usually starts in the summer. They don't do it all
A
year.
lot of town halls are
Yeah.
closed on Fridays, and I will tell you that. And just because
Well, you could condense the hours and
you can condense the hours, and I think that would be a productive use of time. And again, there's no town clerk on Friday. All the other offices are closed. I'm thinking about how can I best use the hours and make my staff more productive.
yeah, that sounds good to me.
So I just need to.
Would you prefer close on Friday or just noon?
That's my question.
I would like. Well, honestly, I'd like to have. If you want to know what I prefer, I'd like to close, but I'd like to have the office to be open for staff to work. Close to the public and have the office open to work. So I want to be able to work, and I want my staff to be able to work.
Yeah.
But just be.
Would you need like the secretary to work though, or would that be, because you only, like, people that work the 29 hours that are part-time, would they not have to work on Friday?
They wouldn't have to work on Friday.
No.
So
But then I could utilize her Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and that would be
Exactly,
the
right.
maximum hours for her, and that would be the best, because I know she's gonna work Tuesday nights.
Right.
What's the pleasure of the board?
Well, I think the question is closed completely on Friday versus till noon. Currently, it's only the land use secretary that's in besides you?
Fridays, the land use secretary and I are in on Fridays all day.
Yes.
And Diane is in until 2.
Oh, Diane is in, okay.
Until
And-
2.
But if there's a meeting, the land use secretary doesn't stay all day on Friday, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
like the planning board meetings that run late, that's part of her hours.
So she
Yeah.
disappears.
No, I'm more thinking about Diane. What
Yeah.
about, what things does Diane cover on Friday that are related to the public?
Nothing. She could do minutes. I mean,
But I mean, you moved her over to the other side because she's not really dealing with the public, is that correct? So there's,
I didn't move her. She was moved over, but she's not.
Right.
okay, so, but there's really nothing that Diane is doing that's related to the public? Certainly Susan is not dealing with anything related to the public. So it'd just be you, so I think that's the only consideration. I would opt more for the full day.
Yeah.
I would, only to keep the confusion.
Yes, yeah.
I was
Downstairs
gonna
is
bring
closed,
up, the
upstairs
town
is
dump
closed.
drives me crazy because they have 4 days and 4
Then
different
the
hours.
summer hours,
They
ah.
have summer and winter hours, drives me crazy. I love consistency.
Yeah, I think it's better just,
Yeah.
And we can still save money and still, you as town administrator can make a decision to say, hey, listen, you wanna work 3 hours today and you can have Friday off, it's a long holiday. I mean, I like to keep
A lot more
employees happy and
I
doing
like to keep
things,
them happy
but
because they've been
control
very
their hours.
productive.
Like, I think we should have a time clock in here and you should be punching time clocks, but that's a whole other discussion.
save that
Is
for later.
land use gonna be able to accommodate that change pretty easily, you think?
I've talked to them about it because we've been tracking who's coming in. And they said as long as we can work the hours that we need to and get our work done, we'd be happy to shut the door, lock it. People I will tell you, my staff has gotten nervous when we're like, for instance, if I go to the NHMA meeting on Friday afternoon, they're like, what do we do? Who are we gonna call? And when it's just been the two of
No,
us.
it's just too risky. Just,
And that's been scary.
well, and then, then you have Friday where you're really at minimal coverage anyway. You're just gonna be scrambling all the time. It's better just to,
The other day, I wanted to go to the post office to get
right,
stamps.
yeah,
And
all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we need to discuss it
How
in
do
public.
electricity costs?
There you go.
Air conditioning.
Yeah, no AC on Friday.
Yeah, we're not giving you this is a negotiations now.
No heat, no
No
AC
heat,
on
no air
Friday.
conditioning.
Well, they're working.
All right, to keep the meeting moving,
Yeah.
so what do you wanna do? Somebody make a motion.
Make a trial, a trial period
Yeah.
of closing this,
A pilot?
a pilot.
Pilot program.
Pilot program.
Pilot program.
3-month pilot.
Yeah.
3-month pilot program
The
where we
final, yeah.
close Fridays to the public but are open for employees.
So employees would be
We
able to
don't have to
work.
put that down, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
We'll
pilot,
just say we're closed Friday to the public.
okay, so,
Yes.
date would be effective April 12th?
What's the date
That's this
today?
Friday.
No, that's just Friday. I'd make it more like
Next
May
week.
Next
1st or
week, next
something.
week.
Yeah,
What's
The
the,
only-
what's
the
the
ninth-
last Friday in
The only reason
April?
I'm saying the 19th is because we're short-staffed on the 19th.
Well, that's true. I mean, what's the worst that happens?
make it the 19th.
You're not gonna get a lot of people. The
All
only,
right, so the
the only-
motion.
Well,
Dave,
actually,
you
it
making
it
that
would be,
motion?
it would be the week
I
of
made
the
the motion.
15th though, because
Can
they're
you make
gonna
the
have to
motion?
fluctuate
What?
their hours.
Do I have a second?
Yes.
Al, is there any further discussion on the motion? Go ahead.
just
John.
read the motion back. We are gonna,
Well, I
the
think
town,
it-
the town offices will be closed on Fridays.
Right, but I
to
think
the
you need to
public.
start on the 15th, that
Starting
way you
on
can
whatever
change
that
people's hours
Friday
for the
is.
week.
Yes, okay.
Oh, you start
Yeah.
the 5th.
Start on the Monday, because you're gonna
Need them
not
to-
work Friday, you might have to work an extra hour or whatever you're.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Well, Diane, for instance, can still come in on Friday.
Yes.
It doesn't
They
change.
just have to work their hours, that's
She
all.
just won't be open for the public.
All right,
Okay, walk around.
any other questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yes.
I'd say now a memo's gotta go to every,
Any-
department
Website.
head and stuff, because
Any
they'll be the
opposed?
Oh,
ones.
yes, and the website,
Yeah.
and,
In the yeah, you gotta update the website.
And
And
the
the
sign
Facebook
on the
page.
door.
Okay.
All right,
Just
so,
ask them to take them on Friday.
5 yeas, any vote no, okay, so the motion's, votes unanimous, 5-0.
Okay.
All right, any,
Next item, we had a flood at Town Hall in 4-3, and Primex is addressing the issue. I want to thank everyone for their patience and their support during this time. Next item, road agent asked to renew the contract for grass cutting as allowed per the contract from last year.
for what kind?
The grass cutting, town grass cutting. Last year, the town had a contract to allow grass, the cutting of the town grass cutting, and it was with, Hodgkin's Painting and Maintenance. And in the contract itself is allowed to automatically renew it for this year so that we don't have to go out through the bidding process. So the road agent is asking us to renew that contract.
I got a question on this one, don't take it the wrong way. But is this the grass cutting contract that took us like months to settle last year?
Is it the fields or is it the roadside?
No, this is.
Regular mowing?
It's
All town facilities.
all town facilities.
Fields.
I just remember there was
Well, because,
well, I would just say if we're,
well,
If
we
we
need
were
to
happy
move on.
with it,
If we were gonna, if
if
we
it
were
was a
gonna do this, we should put it out earlier, because you're gonna start mowing in about 3 weeks.
I understand, but I guess my point would be if this was the one that we had so much time taken last year to get it approved and we're happy with the way it worked, I wouldn't spend any more time on it. I'd approve it tonight and move on.
All right, do you wanna
Rather-
make that motion?
Yes, I'll make, well, first off, is that true? Is it true that this is the contract that we,
The facts, I don't
I
know.
believe it is, yeah.
Yeah.
okay, so then yes, I'll make a
All right, so
motion,
Hal,
And it was the
motion.
cheapest
Do I have a
one.
second?
cheapest time-wise.
Second by Matt. Is there any further discussion?
Is this the same price? Yeah. Okay. It's in the budget then.
I know I'm not public, but I spoke with them, I told them.
Well, what's the, is it the same, are we gonna spend the
Same
same as last year?
Yeah.
So it's in the, it'll be in the default.
Same contract, possible.
Okay.
Next item,
All right, any more discussion? Seeing none? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
okay, next item. I might need a little help from my road agent because he's given me a couple things. Thank you, Mr. Road Agent.
So, are you a roadie?
I'm a roadie. Bring me some fried chicken next time they come in.
All right.
We'll go road agent.
He has given me a couple bids that he'd like to have looked at. Quotes. For, this is for the
For the roadside mowing.
roadside mowing, and he had this other bid.
That's the grading.
That's the grading.
One grading, this is also grading, roadside mowing and sweeping.
Okay. Why don't you tell them this?
Can I'll give you a little history. We only got one guy who gave us a quote on sweeping, only one person. I reached out to several people on the road grading, and I got many were too busy, and other excuses that I won't say publicly. So we have this gentleman here, Telco, who we are recommending for the street sweeping and the road grading. His price for road grading is $115 an hour, and that's 2 pieces of equipment. That's a grader and a small tractor to do some cleanup behind it. That's the one we recommend for that. But there's also my chair is rolling away from me. Come here. There's also a price on here for roadside mowing for $6,500.
So is when they're running the grader, are there 2 people there, a grader person running the grader and another person running the tractor, or is it one person?
He said he has a second guy for that if he needs them, but he'll jump from one tractor to another. But we're still getting 2 pieces of equipment for $115 an hour.
But are they gonna both be running,
Excuse me?
are they both be running at the same time?
Not at the same time, but it'd be on site, and you're not gonna get a contractor to bring a piece of equipment on site for free, ever. That doesn't happen. The other gentleman who graded that we don't recommend, he's asking, it's $100 an hour for the grader, plus we purchase his cutting edges and bolts. And my personal experience with contractors, I've never had a contractor tell me that I gotta pay for the wear and tear
Yeah,
of his equipment as I hire him. I've never had that, and I've reached out to a couple other people, and they said, yeah, I've never heard of that. Somebody said that if you buy me lunch. So
So wait, you got two quotes?
I got two quotes for grading. One is $115 an hour, that's the guy with two pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
The other quote is for $100 an hour, and that's the town purchasing the cutting edges and the bolts for the cutting edges as he wears them out.
As he wears them out, so.
As he wears them out on our roads. So,
That'll end up being more than $15 an hour.
yeah, my opinion.
how many hours total are we talking about?
That's gonna be on what we have for funding and how many roads we can get done with that. Old Barnstead Road is going to take the majority of that. But, you know, we will keep within our budget, and I will be watching the hours as we go. If, you know, I have a good working idea how long it's gonna take per road, so if it starts to, you know,
Yeah, I
you
understand.
know, I'll.
So you'll work to a budget, though, we won't go out, it's not for a
Absolutely.
predetermined number of hours.
It's right, it's not a predetermined because it's
Total
hard
dollars.
to do that, but I have a general idea, you know, it's not gonna take, you know, if he's, you know,
Yeah,
2 weeks
understood.
on Old Barnstead Road, then we'll pull in shots, so. But anyways, that's the one I recommend for that. Telco is the company. The other gentleman, Seawall, he gave us just a roadside mowing, it's a company that we used last year. He's at $7,200, and that's for 80 hours at a $90 an hour rate. And that's what we figured, about 2 weeks worth of roadside mowing to start about August, so we're not dealing with bus traffic, but it's done before the school buses run. It's recommended by him, and that recommendation mainly came from Pete, because Pete knows these guys, dealt with them last year. I don't have any experience with these people. But we know he knows the equipment, he knows the guys. The other gentleman who also quoted us for roadside trimming at $6,500 for 80 hours worth of work. According to Pete, he's new at it. He just recently purchased roadside mowing equipment. So Pete's just kind of favoring, you know, someone that he knows has a history with. So those are them.
So the one that's almost $1,000 less?
One is 7,200, the other one is 65.
All right, let's do these, so let's do
One at a time.
them one at a time, so, somebody wanna make a motion for the grading?
I'll make a motion to pay the $115 an hour for two pieces of equipment and an operator.
To the company name.
Telco?
Telco,
Telco.
Talco.
Second.
Okay, is there any further discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
With the same company, he's the only one who gave us a price for sweeping. For street sweeping at $105 an hour.
Telco?
And I usually go, and historically, according to Pete, it's been about a week's worth of sweeping. And I know the school wants, whoever we hire, the school wants to hire as well to do sweeping down there, but it's gonna be,
There,
their
Their
deal.
expense.
Yeah, their expense, their deal, yeah. When we're done with
Did the
them.
broom break?
Huh?
Did Tom's broom break?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Didn't
I
they-
wrote it
wait,
last
I
week.
got a dumb question. It's not dumb, but it could be dumb. What did we do last year? Didn't,
We hired a sweep, according to Pete, they hired a
He
sweep.
can buy a
They hired
broom. Did hire a
yeah,
sweeper.
they did hire a sweeper come in, yep.
is it,
And he's $105 an hour, and then Pete's figuring about a week's worth of sweeping, so.
is that enough? To get, is that enough, a week's worth of work?
According to him, it is, you know, we'll see, you know, weather's gonna dictate a lot of it too,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So,
What's in the budget for that?
that comes under the highway maintenance budget, I got $71,000 to deal with. So, yeah, I can afford it.
okay, so somebody wanna make that motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to use, was it Talco for
Talco, yeah, I guess I'm pronouncing it.
$5 an hour for a week's worth of work?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave Ruth. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, so the two roadside mowing, the one that Pete recommends is a seawall at $7,200 an hour,
An hour, yeah, I wish.
70, yeah.
80 hours at $90 an hour is $7,200. And Telco has put in a bid for, a quote for 80 hours worth of work at $6,500 an hour. And we just, like I said, Pete just feels more comfortable with Seawall because,
Oh, he wants to go with Seawall.
yeah, he wants to go with the experience that he has with them. Based
So we
on
hired Talco to do two things,
Right.
Yeah.
but you wanna go out, I'm just asking this,
Yep.
so you wanna go out with somebody else for the other
To
mowing?
do the roadside mowing, yes.
Okay.
Wait,
At
So-
$800 more.
So seawall was 7,200,
200, yeah.
and who was the one for
Telco was
65?
6,500.
Oh, Talco 65?
So, I got a question.
Yep.
So if we're so confident for Talco for the other work, why would we pay more to have the other guy do it? Because you feel
right.
confident with Talco,
Right.
but now you're saying, Talco can't do this, but we wanna give it to this other guy. So
And
just-
only speaking because I don't have experience with either one of these guys, because I'm new, okay? Going by what I was told by Pete, is that Telco just recently got into the roadside mowing, just recently purchased equipment to do so. So he doesn't have a track history of roadside mowing. The company does,
But is he solid on the other stuff?
he has been.
So if he's solid on the other stuff, why wouldn't he be solid on the roadside mowing?
he might be
I would think he
solid
would
per
be.
se, but maybe he doesn't, I mean, I experienced this, Scott, with, my machinery. I can go with some of the stuff, now that I've had more experience on it, twice as fast on some of the things, including some of the stuff like brush hogging and things like that.
But he's,
I did,
but
you
he's
know-
given us a dollar figure, he's not gonna go over that
Right, he's
65.
not gonna go over the dollar figure, even if he goes over the hours.
Is that a fixed amount of work?
We base it on 80 hours worth of work. 2
Yeah, see,
weeks.
that's what I'm
So-
saying.
So somebody might be able to do, the other guy might be able to do it faster.
Might be able to
Get
do it
more
faster.
done, and-
That's what I'm
Yeah,
worried
that's
about,
at
that
that
we'll
rate,
have,
yeah.
10 more miles or 15 more miles of edges done.
I'm just looking at almost $1,000.
Yeah, it's a day's work. It's a
You know, that's-
significant
Today, right.
day plus, almost two.
Yeah,
We're
one
trying to
day.
cut, we're trying to cut
One
every
one
little
day
bit
out
here.
of 10, so I guess it comes down, do you think he's 10% faster? Do you think somebody experienced is gonna be 10% faster?
Well,
All depends on what's gonna be done, that's how.
Right.
Could he be?
And
Yes.
and I'm
but you
just
don't know
going,
what's
again,
gonna
I'm
do.
going by what I'm told, Seawalls did it last year. They know the roads, it's not, not gonna be new. They pretty much know what's expected and what we're going to expect.
I mean, Pete seems to know the
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, and I put a lot of stock, I put a lot of stock in Pete's advice, obviously, because I don't have the history with these companies as he does.
But Pete does not know this other person in
That-
terms
As
of
far as,
mowing.
he knows them as, the grading and the street sweeper. He doesn't know them as the roadside, because I believe the way he explained it to me, the roadside mowing is new to them. They just started recently doing that, purchasing the equipment.
I understand Scott's point, and we are in a default budget here.
I would look to save $1,000.
Yeah.
The decision is yours.
I'll make a motion to go with Talco for the other one, too.
Okay.
Do you want a second on top?
Second.
Keep it simple.
So we're going with Talco, discussion?
Any further discussion?
We're going with Talco to do
All of it.
All of
all
it.
of it. And so, but they're never gonna be done at the same time, so
No.
we're not, so that's not a
The
problem.
roadside mowing doesn't happen till August.
And then the rest happens all before that.
The
So
grading will
that part of
happen.
it's not a problem.
Will happen based on their scheduling as well, because we're not the only town that's reaching out to road graders right now. Everybody is
Yeah.
maxing right out, so.
Yeah.
The street sweeping is, and sorry, I don't have the dates in my head, but Pete does. There's a certain time that we say, okay, let's sweep the streets.
Yeah.
And he gets within like that month to get that done.
Plus, we're saving $25 on the paperwork and cutting a different check too.
Yeah, wow.
There you go.
Well, let Pete know what the considerations were. We're not
Is there any
no,
more?
expecting his
Are
opinion.
we all, we comfortable with this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay.
Okay,
Is
next
that all I
thing.
have?
Since you're
Holy
sitting
crap,
here.
how much does this road agent got?
Oh, yeah. One more thing.
Come on.
All right.
God,
I know.
Free-
we're in a default
One other
budget.
thing, one other thing while he's sitting here, and then I've just got a few more things. Sorry, guys. The Highway Committee Advisory Board advises the town to continue the paving project on Sherburne Hill Road, adding in the bid for all ditch and drainage work to be included. Also, that bid,
What committee?
the Highway
Highway
Committee.
Committee, we had a meeting, you didn't go to.
Also, that bid,
Whoa, time out.
Well,
I called about the meetings, nobody notified me.
Steve didn't tell you?
No.
We had a forum.
Was you and Steve?
No, there was,
Lots of people
yeah,
there.
there was several of us there, there was six, 7 of us there
When was the meeting?
yesterday.
at 3:30. I ran into it and I was like,
How am I gonna attend these meetings if I work full time?
That's a good question. I wondered
I
that
put,
too.
and I didn't push the time frame, but I pushed to have the meeting based on our last conversation about paving, because we gotta get an idea going, because we gotta get on the
Yeah.
paver's ticket, or we're gonna miss it,
Okay.
because we're running out of time. I asked it,
Steve picked the meeting.
I wandered in and found it here yesterday.
I mean, I have it in my notes here. Why do
Maybe
we have
somebody that
contracts issued?
can go to the meetings during the day should be on the committee.
I would think.
I could have gone, but I figured you'd call me if you needed me to go.
Nobody told, was the meeting posted?
I'm not the chair of the
Whoa,
highway committee.
time out, we got in trouble for this.
You did.
We got in trouble, was
I
this
just-
meeting?
I just-
I wasn't at the meeting, was the meeting posted?
I don't know, I didn't organize the meeting,
Well,
because
front
I'm the
door
road
exit.
agent, I'm not the highway committee
I wandered in
advisor.
and found the meeting, that's all I know.
All right, so one, because
No,
this
this
was
is a
a problem we
serious.
got in trouble for. We taken to court over this. Was the meeting posted?
I have no idea, because I.
No, I'm not asking.
look at-
Okay,
look
No, I'm not asking.
Oh,
I
no,
got that.
Look at Heather when you say
Was the
that.
meeting posted?
Yeah.
Look at Heather.
He's right, look at, see? I take notes too, Heather.
And you gotta make it clear to them, it's gotta be posted within, so people can know
It has
about
to
it.
be posted at least 24 hours.
Yeah.
I just happened, the conversation I had, frankly, earlier in the
I'm
week.
glad I wasn't at that meeting.
Good thing.
I got the message on
Well,
Friday.
no, seriously, Heather.
I got the message on Friday that the meeting was gonna be held that Monday, so
And I didn't,
I don't know where else it was posted or.
Okay, but we have requirements for where it needs to be
24 hours,
posted.
yeah.
Well, not just 24 hours, but don't we have requirement as to where it's posted?
Yeah, was it posted? Yeah, I can look on the door right here, see if it was posted.
the other thing that I had thought that I was surprised that the meeting was happening when I wandered in and found it, because I thought the committee was defunct because I didn't think you had enough
Yeah,
people.
all of a sudden, we just signed the things to appoint them tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't an official
I was
meeting.
gonna say, it wasn't a meeting, if they didn't want an appointment.
It was a non-meeting meeting.
It was a group of people that
There's
got
a group of
together.
people, group of concerned citizens
There you go.
utilizing town hall property.
Because if they weren't official, then they weren't. But no,
I'm just pointing out, we were taking the court over this
when I wanted
just
in
recently.
But
yesterday
let me
afternoon.
ask you, what's the difference between committee and an advisory board?
Same as the safety complex.
Okay, all right.
They have
All
no
right, I'm
appointed.
just.
I mean, we got taken to court and we prevailed, but
Right.
the
Let's not do
judge-
that again.
Let's not do that.
No, I was surprised that it was happening because I thought that they didn't have a group or a quorum and then I saw these come in from Linda and I said, well,
Who
They're not
sets up the
appointed.
meetings?
Steve Bailey.
the chairman.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotta be a way to notify everybody.
I mean, I'm not kidding. Sometimes I kid a lot, but I'm not kidding about this because we did expend some funds
Was it on the
to
webpage?
defend that in court. Now, somebody might say, geez, I don't agree with doing Sherburne Hill Road. Was it posted? Could I sign and put my input in?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think we've got to take a step back on this.
Okay.
So I'm going to not read this then
Say,
because it was just a suggestion from a non-meeting.
So I don't want to hear that suggestion until we have a formal meeting.
Right. And I will talk to the chairman, now that he has official meeting people, and talk to him about it.
And maybe suggest that the appointed select.
Your actual highway meeting is supposed to be on the 24th at 7 o'clock, according to the calendar.
On the 24th.
Right, they have them scheduled for every last
Right.
Wednesday.
Oh, the 24th of April?
Yeah, which.
You can't
And,
You're not going to be here either.
no, and I talked to Steve about that, so I said, we need a meeting ahead of that, and he said he would set one up, and that's the one he set up.
Right.
Was,
No, I was just checking to see if it was actually posted as a meeting, that's why I looked.
I'll chat with him.
Call Mr. Chairman Bailey.
I'm sure I'll see him tomorrow.
so just so you're all aware, this pushes back another, whatever, before I can put bids out to get on tickets to bid. And those the guys are getting busy.
What's pushing back?
We're pushing back to we decide what we're gonna pay for roads.
Because now
And
they
I
have to,
put
now
bid-
they
I
have to
gotta
have a
put
meeting
bids
and then
out.
come to us, so it could be
I
done.
thought we told the budget committee what roads we were gonna pave.
No, we didn't answer that question.
I thought it was Sherburne, Ridge.
We talked about it here, and you suggested that we have a highway committee meeting first.
I
before we
did.
make a decision.
That was posted.
That you were invited to,
I
right?
was actually invited
No
to.
decisions
But
have
you
been
need a
made.
committee to host it.
Plus, you didn't have a committee. Last time I talked to Steve, he said his committee was defunct.
That's what he told me last week. That's why I wondered who those people were yesterday.
So wait a minute now, there's still 5 of us here, we could authorize to put
Yeah, we
out to
don't- we
bid.
don't need the
Because
advisory.
it's just an advisory committee.
Yes,
So you guys make the final decision,
Oh,
all
that's
right?
what
And
it
I can
sounds
give you
like.
my suggestions.
Yeah.
And you guys can make that
I
decision.
say go out and do the bids.
yes.
Okay,
For Ridge,
Motion.
Sherburne, Ridge, and Harvey. Was it Harvey?
I will, yeah.
We talked about it.
Now,
Motion.
I had some discussions with some individuals,
Friends.
and some good points were brought up that I came up with. That Sherburne Hill obviously is a given. We've got to finish Sherburne Hill, and that's going to run off the top of my head, just throwing a figure out there, about 150,000.
Which is what percentage of that line?
How much is block?
300.
The line, we got 320,000 to work with, doing reconstruction on roads, culverts, ditching, and all that. That's the 220,000 in the budget, and $100,000
$100,000
more.
You know, when you drive down Ridge, and you know where I'm talking about, when you start going down the hill where you're around in Sugar, Deb Block's place, that's a mess there.
Yep. So here's my suggestion. We finish Urban Hill, get that good and done. With this money, we contract out, because we're gonna have to contract out culvert and ditching on the Ridge Road this year. We have 18 culverts, and I'm gonna guess about 12 of those 18 culverts are old concrete or
Need to
metal
be replaced.
culverts, need to be replaced. If we're doing those kind of things on that road with, and obviously in the bid, they will have to pave the area that they dug. Bring it up with base so it's
Right.
flat and flush. And same thing on Harvey Lake Road. There's 3 big culverts there that need to be replaced. That's gonna be a challenge, that's going to be expensive, because it's such of a narrow road, and it's gonna be and we're gonna need contractors in there with excavators and all that, so it's done quick. I think we can do Ridge Road, the culvert and the ditch work, Harvey Lake Road culvert and ditch work, with the understanding that those roads will be hit for paving, start the paving process the following year. And I'm hoping that with Sherburne Hill done, and with the culverts done on both those roads, we will have some money left over that I can skim some of those low spots on Ridge to get us through the winter. And I can maybe skim a little bit on Bigelow Road just to help those people out, if there's some funds left to do that.
You
That's what I'm
skim
looking
just top coat.
Yeah, just a leveling thing, where it dips just after the mobile station a little ways down before the power line.
Right when you go down that hill.
Yeah, there's that dip on one side of the road, get that leveled off for the winter. And that way, A, will plow off better and it'll keep cars on the road better. And we can address those 2 water issues by the Sugar Mamas and up by, the other new Bill house that's going up.
That's been a mess
Yeah.
all winter.
Right, and we got some issues there, and just around the corner from that as well, we got some water issues, water coming into the thing, or we have to address those and find out what's going on with that.
So those are your top priorities, the way you're
Yes,
saying
absolutely, absolutely.
that? Okay, let's just make sure the highway department agrees once we get to
He
that
is the highway
point.
I
department.
am the highway
I
department,
mean, the highway advisory.
but they do,
Send them a memo, maybe.
Yeah, I just like to see the consensus, but I think Matt's right. We could at least authorize getting the bids, because I think we should have had them out already, tell you the truth.
but it's been confusing,
Yeah.
so. it's been
Yeah,
hard to get.
so I don't think we should delay on that. And it sounds to me like if we get bids on all 3, if there's a change in plans, we can make some adjustments.
Who wrote up the bids last year?
No idea,
Didn't we have an engineer write up the bids for us?
may have, yep, I have a copy of one of the bids at home, from Jonas Pond Road and Sherburne Hill Road.
Yeah, so could we look, because we need to have those bids done professionally.
Okay, I'll make a motion to to authorize them to go out for bids on those 3 roads that he mentioned, Sherburne, Harvey Lake, and
Ridge Road.
Well,
Ridge.
you finish Sherburne,
Finish Urban
you guys
and
just do
culvert
the
ditch.
ditching and
Yep,
culvert
culvert
work.
work on Ridge and Harvey Lake.
Second.
Okay, motion, motion by Al, second by Dave. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, but,
Thanks, Mr. Road Agent.
You're welcome.
Thank you, John.
so you understand the stipulation, John, get some professional help on the bid
Oh, he needs
writing.
professional help.
Oh, I do, I see one every week. Yes, I'm gonna get
Put
her, I'm gonna
psychiatrists
go,
in the
I'm gonna get. Yeah. I'm gonna get the old contract that I have in my office at home, and I'll get her the engineering firm, and we'll
Only
start
Gary
that.
got my joke, huh, Gary?
We'll start that ball rolling,
Yeah,
cause I gotta schedule a walk down and all
Yeah, I
that.
know.
we're late.
Okay, I'm
Sorry.
going home.
Thanks, John.
Thanks,
Thanks, Sean.
Thank God you're going home.
Alright, okay, so, okay, I'm getting through my list here, guys, sorry. Next thing on my happy little list here. Personnel policy. It was reviewed by legal after spending several hours with them and making significant changes to things like probationary employees. That implies a contract. After removing all languages that implies contracts and collective bargaining agreements, allowing for changes to laws that protect employees for ADAA, which includes service animals like miniature ponies now, which we have to include, and dogs. Yes. I have taken,
I want an emergency chicken.
Mini ponies and dogs, that's what
Wait
the
a
federal
second.
government says.
yes, miniature ponies and dogs now.
Oh, no, wait,
I
I just, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to make a point. There's a difference, at least from an HR perspective, I thought, between service animals and emotional support
There
animals.
are, big difference.
And the peacocks and the ponies aren't
Ponies
service.
are service.
A
Oh,
service,
The ADA stipulates it's dogs and miniature horses.
a miniature.
Oh, miniature horses.
But you could wear like roller skates and just hover over them and go for rides.
And it's ADAA, it's not ADA anymore, and it's miniature horses.
Okay.
I don't know where we're gonna put one, but we have to allow it.
They're pretty small.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
They're about the,
What he
Okay.
designed
about
to
the
do
size of a big dog.
So anyway,
is gonna cause
so I've
so many
taken it all
problems
back
in
from the
future.
attorney after going through all that, but now I've gotta put it back together structurally. The attorney did offer to do it, or have their paralegal do it. They said it'd take about 8 hours to have them do it. I said no, because I didn't think we needed them to do it for $250 an hour. I could do it, or I can have help with the office staff do it. So that's where we are with that. But we wanted to make sure that it was all the probationary employees and everything else was taken out, because people are at-will employees. So I wanted to give you an update
We're
on
not gonna
that.
call them pilot.
Pilot program.
We don't want to play that either.
John, is there something you need?
I need that mowing contract back. Sorry.
Okay, the other thing is it in this pile? Look. New hires that we talked about last week yep, have accepted their positions, and as long as we're waiting for their queries to come back, and we expect them to start the end of the month, so we're very excited about that. That's good news. Recreation Committee, unfortunately, I have a resignation letter I need the board to accept from Ryan Hanovan. And so I need a
From the
vote
Recreation Committee?
from the Recreation Committee.
He
Oh, I
was
thought
the,
you said leave
No, he was
coordinator.
the committee.
he was the, he was the,
Coordinator,
Yeah,
sorry.
okay.
So he would like to resign and he needs the board to accept his resignation.
I'll accept it with regrets.
Second,
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
5-0. Okay.
And then we also have a gentleman who's interested in joining the Recreation Commission. And his name is Dakota Newman.
She, but
Oh,
she's
she?
one.
Sorry. And it's late, I'm sorry. I will apologize to her personally. And so would the board like to consider this interested party to join the Recreation Commission?
What will that make the number, do you know?
What?
What number, how many would that be on the committee?
So we've had, as I'll speak as the selectman's rep to the committee, we've had a bit of a shakeup where Dave and I were both on that committee, as well as our new incoming recreation director. So we're basically taking
You're in a
3
restructuring.
members and shuffling that
Okay.
all around.
All right.
Most of us will still be there, but in a different capacity.
Okay.
So Dakota will make
3 minimum, 4?
It'll be
4 voting right now,
4 voting.
right now. I've got another person that'll get a
Yeah,
letter in.
we've put some feelers out to some folks in the
Okay.
community.
So
All right.
I need a motion on that.
I move to accept the code on to the rec committee.
Second.
Second, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4 with, Hal's an absenteeism. He stepped out for a minute.
Oh, okay.
He abstained.
Okay. Another item that has come up is we're working with McFarland Johnson on the easements for the Bow Lake Bridge, and they have been coming up with letters of easements. So I need to ask that the board can appoint the chairman to sign letters of easements that will be going out. We do not have them ready yet because we're just starting to get them in. So they will be available for the chairman to sign. And here's a sample one. It's for the easements for the bridge replacement, temporary easements. They'll be in place while they repair the bridge. And they will, when we get them ready, because we're starting to get them in as templates, we'll put them out in the selectman's signature area for the chairman to sign. So I did need to ask the board to approve the chairman to sign these.
Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Beth, second by Al. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so those aren't ready yet. All right. so-
Motion passes 5-0.
The next item, again, this is on the Bow Lake Bridge. This is the dredge and standard dredge and fill application, and they've asked the town clerk and I to sign off on this, but I need the board's approval for me to sign off on this.
Somebody want to move that?
So moved.
For a second.
Second.
Second by Beth. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, and
I have like no room left. You have to be done
Yeah,
soon.
we gotta stop soon.
I'm almost
All my minutes.
I'm sorry, guys. Okay, one more thing. I did have one item from last meeting. I do need some clarity on this. The interim TA, Tammy Bellew, asked again to come before the board to turn over any additional items regarding the wage study and job descriptions from Gary Thornton and Associates. The board had said that you were all set with her and you were comfortable proceeding forward, and I had talked to the department heads and they were all set too. She indicated when I talked to her on the phone, I had a conversation with her last week or the week before, that her intention was to come back and do additional work, and she wanted to formally sever her relationship with Northwood in delivering materials. Again, many department heads have said they are all set with the job descriptions and can take it from here. I'm comfortable moving ahead, but I also don't want to step on anyone's toes, so I really just want to make sure that the board is comfortable.
I'll start, and then if Beth wants to add anything. She helped us out in a pinch, and if it's just her coming to do one last thing to get closure or something, I'm not opposed to that. I would, it's up to the board, but
What exactly would she have to do?
I think she has some stuff that she wants to come in and give us the package and kind of talk about what she has done. And
Did she have an exit interview of any sort?
I don't know. I mean, she came in on the 11th of February when I was here and talked to the board, and I think she was pretty much, I thought she was set, but then she was planning to come back and do more job descriptions. Here's the confusion part. I think we need to be clear about it, because I know she did contact Gary Thornton from Thornton Associates, and he said, who should I be talking to, you or him, or her? And I said, I think it's me, but I'm going to go back and talk to the board. I like Tammy. I don't want to step on her toes. But Gary Thornton hasn't been paid the final third. I want him to get paid. I want
him to get paid after we get our final.
Right,
Yeah.
and I mean, we can implement the job descriptions. I've talked to the department heads. We're ready to move on these, so we can get that done. I don't want to upset Tammy, but I want to get this done and
Do we
move
owe
on.
her
We don't
any
owe
money?
we don't owe her any money for anything she's done in the past. If she's going to take anything else on, then we would owe her money. If she has anything, I'd like to get it from her, and I don't want to leave a bad taste in her mouth. But I also don't want to. I don't want to beleaguer this anymore. Do you know what I'm saying?
I have to say, I don't understand. Is there a list of things that she says she's going to do or has to do? I mean, do we have a list? I mean, I just don't get this.
Does she have any
Is this-
job descriptions that she's not given?
She said, well, I have stuff because I don't like, she said to me, I have stuff that the department heads sent me. I talked to the department heads and they said that everything I said, did you send her stuff? And they said, no, everything's in your office. So I'm kind of confused. Then I asked Gary Thornton, the contractor that you hired, and I said, send me everything. So he sent me all the job descriptions. So I have all the job descriptions. I mean, there's 2 I want to fix. Other than that, I think we're ready to go. But again, I don't want to upset anybody. I just want to know where we need to go.
Well, what is she saying specifically she needs to do?
She wanted to come and sever her relationship.
What does that mean?
I mean,
What does
this
that
was-
mean?
That was before me. I don't know.
What does sever your relationships mean? I don't understand what the words mean.
Do you think she wants to, I think she wants to come and say, because she came in here and helped us out for several months.
Yeah.
So let's come in and say, I think she wants to come out and just say, this is what I did, this is what you need to do to go forward, and that's about it.
I think, I mean, if she didn't have a formal exit interview, I think there's value to having that process. I think there's value to the town, right, in terms of getting her input, where the changes need to be made, et cetera. What that actually impacts on the long term, who knows? But I think I'd be comfortable with having her come in with a very set expectation on maximum hours if she's going to do it with the expectation of compensation. If she wants to come in and spend some time sitting down with you or whomever out of the goodness of her own heart, then by all means, let's invite her over. I'll even buy her a cup of coffee. But so I guess to me the question really is there something on file somewhere that shows she did something that looks like an exit interview? If not, I think it's probably a good idea. If yes, then I don't see any reason to move forward with that.
What do you think?
I'm really reluctant to approve anything where I don't understand what it is, and I'm still not clear what this is. I mean, you're saying maybe it's an exit interview.
Well,
Has she done work
She-
since she's been gone?
I don't think she has. She had done, she was intern town administrator. She had stated that she was gonna go to vacation on Florida. There's a couple open items. And I think
What are
she's-
those items?
I believe it was the fire chief's job description, and,
That actually came up tonight, and he says he has one, so
all right,
because it came up in another context, but go ahead.
well, and I think, the finance administrator, that's been
That's-
fine.
We
Yeah.
did that though, just recently.
So, other than those 2, I'm not sure without having somebody actually inquire. But last I knew, there was only like 2 open items.
Yeah, I thought it was the fire chief was the only one I knew of.
The
and then-
what?
The fire chief was the only one I didn't know about, and he was looking for it
Because
today.
none of those, we have not formally approved
Right,
any of
and
those
that-
job descriptions.
And I have a stack of them literally sitting up in the top shelf in my office, and I'm like, I didn't want to.
Did she want to come down in case we had questions about any of them or something?
See, I got those from the Thornton Associates, so I don't know. I don't know what she said she didn't move on them because and I actually saw the email that went back and forth between her and Gary Thornton, so she
We
was
started
waiting
this
for-
with Kate.
What?
We started this whole thing with
Yeah,
Kate.
it started with Kate. So did Kate start this?
It started with Katie.
So I don't understand it either. So if she just wants to come to address the board and say, this is what I did, here's all the final results, then we'll all know. But if she's asking us to continue, then that's a whole different discussion. I mean, she can come in and talk to us and then say, this is what I did, here's everything, I'm all set. Or she can say, I think you better have me for another 20 weeks. I don't know.
Why don't you
We
call
can't
her?
afford that.
No, I know.
Okay.
So that's what
Why
I
don't
mean.
we just make a phone call and say, when you come down, what do you anticipate you're gonna do, and what's the cost associated with that, and then we'll decide if we want to come down or not.
Yeah, list of tasks. What's the list of tasks?
What do you need to let us know about that?
I mean, what she said to me, she said, I want to formally sever it so I can move on, and I said, okay.
Okay, well, get a list of tasks involved with formally severing them.
She wanna meet with us, and that's fine.
Whatever that list of tasks is to formally severance, I want to see what the list is. This is just too nebulous.
But we have appreciated everything she's done.
And
So
I do, and
want
I
her to make sure
said,
she.
I was going to say,
Right.
I'd be happy to get her a card and flowers or something like that and say
Yeah.
thank you.
And-
Don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
happy to do
No,
that.
she did a wonderful job for us, and
Yeah.
helped
Three
us with a
bottles
time
of
of need,
Jack.
definitely.
And Matt has a good point. You know, it might be good to do an exit interview, which is different than
Right.
a formal severance. You know,
I mean, she wants to come down and, I mean, she's saying, I just need 2-3 hours to wrap this up. I'm not opposed to granting 2 or 3 hours.
Support that too.
Yeah.
But I'm just.
But I'm not, I don't think we got anything we need her to do that's anything more than a couple hours.
Yeah. And I don't,
I guess what I'm saying, if she wanted to come down and meet with the board and her travel time down here plus back in an hour and a half or something, she sat down to do some presentation for us. I'm fine with that, but that's about it. But I would think if you say exactly what we're gonna do when you come down here, like what do you want to pass on to the selectmen? I mean, she's got a lot of good information.
Yeah,
She's very knowledgeable.
well, yeah, and if we want to do an exit interview, I wouldn't be opposed to that. But then let's call it that. I mean, I want to know
Why
what
don't you
we're
just
going
call
to
up
pay
and
her
say,
to do.
hey, what's it gonna cost to have you come down here to do this wrap-up thing?
If any cost.
What?
If there is a
If there
cost.
is.
Does she just wanna come and say, I got all this sitting around, I never finished?
Right,
I
here's,
just wanna
here's my
finish.
pile, there you
Yeah.
go.
okay. So maybe
All
I should
right,
approach it
and,
that way first.
I'll go with you two, cause you're here, you know what you're talking about, I'm just,
Okay. Because I mean, if, like last time you said you're all set, so and then I talked to her and I don't want to upset her.
I actually talked to her and I says, well, I think we're all set, and she's like, kind of like, I don't think it was a good break. I don't think she felt like that was a good break because she goes, well, I'm still got some open items that I need to discuss, and so let's just get clarity.
Get a list of the open items then. That's an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I'd like to know the list.
Yeah, I mean, if there are open items then, that's fine. Let's figure out how the best way to deal with them is.
Okay.
And you can come, I know, say, what's your anticipated cost for wrapping this up?
I'm missing them.
I don't think it's anything more than a couple hours.
Okay.
Next.
I don't want her to drive all the way down here for nothing, too. It's a long
Well,
way.
she was pretty adamant about, well, you need to,
She still live across town or she's moved out?
No, she's in Franconia.
Oh,
She don't live,
road trip, let's
Yeah.
go.
she's,
No, it's snowing up there,
no,
more than
she's,
here.
I did
Get a
see,
foot.
she posted on Facebook, she's trying to rent her, duplex. She
Here?
still owns the duplex.
Oh.
Out in Linwood.
Okay.
Okay.
So I will try to figure out what the open items are, what the
Okay.
cost would be, and try to figure out from there. So that's that. Because I mean, I don't want to leave it in a bad place, but I also need to try to figure out what the goals are. Okay. All right, so far, what we have for the agenda on 4:30 is we have a public hearing, a non-meeting with the attorney, personnel policy update, job descriptions, and Charlie's fee changes, just so you know.
And what, please?
Charlie's fee changes,
Oh, yes.
or code enforcement changes, proposed fee changes.
Well, will it be Charlie now, or
No, it might not
it'll be Rich,
Code-
right?
Yeah. So that's that. And you were gonna make a motion about that. Rich,
About what? Rich?
code enforcement.
The building inspector, code
Okay.
enforcement.
Do I have a motion about the code enforcement?
Building inspector? Code.
I'd like to make a motion to pilot a program, right? for Rich Anatone to take on the building inspector code enforcement
For 3 months,
for 3 months
pilot program.
pilot program. Do you want his, I don't know his
Well, it
rate.
doesn't matter, it'd be whatever he gets for an hourly rate, and then if he's in the overtime, it'd be a time and a
Right,
half.
so it's 10 hours a week, 10 to 12 hours a week, you said.
Yeah.
8 hours at overtime pay.
I mean, whatever he works over a
Yeah.
stamp thing, you have to, I mean, you gotta pay him time and a half, that's the way it's set up.
Okay. So to hire Rich Anatone as a building code enforcer for as a pilot program for 3 months.
Starting,
Oh, sorry. You want to second it?
well, she's finishing the motion, I just said, when is
When's
he
the
starting?
When do you want him to start?
Probably I would like him probably to start the mid to April because I want him to have some time to work with,
Isn't Charlie
Charlie.
done, you said in May?
in May.
So
That's-
we want to start April 19th?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it 19th?
That's a Friday,
Well, it's a
Yeah.
Monday.
Monday's the
the
15th.
15th.
Start April 15th.
A
Did he
week
even
off
finish
April
his first class yet?
He has finished his first class, I know that. I think his second one finishes in May, and then the next one goes in after that. It's like on constantly.
So do you want starting next week or the week
Yeah,
after?
The week after.
So starting on April 22nd? That's a Monday.
Day after Easter.
Okay, so that you made that motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Go ahead.
One question I have, just for clarification, we're not paying for any, are we paying for any of these classes? He's paying, okay, so we haven't been approached with that at all or anything?
No, that
Okay.
would be totally on him.
All right.
Okay.
And what are the days he's going to do this? Or is that to be
You
determined?
said-
I think let's let the town administrator establish the hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Work between, because he is a scheduled firefighter,
Enough
so,
said, enough said.
okay. Let her, you give her the authority to negotiate that. All right, any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 5-0.
Please let Charlie know we appreciate
Do you have
him
anything else?
helping him as well.
I don't have anything else.
All right,
Have to go.
so I'm gonna start with, Hal, do you have a selectmen's report?
I got a couple questions if I could. I guess we covered the one with John coming in about contracts, so that was good. Let me go down through my list here. So page 7.
What do you want? Page 7 of what?
Oh, no, I'm just going through here.
Oh,
It's on the budget.
I know we're in a default budget, but the online assessing tool, what do
Thank
we,
you on.
what line, where are you?
well, this was in your last,
You talking about the thing Linda brought up about her online?
yes, I'd
Okay.
just
Oh.
like to say that I'd be a strong proponent of that. And just for you, Matt, separately, we can talk about some of the EDC stuff, but one of the things that I've found in going to like the CYBOR meetings, which is the industrial and commercial real estate business meetings and stuff, the online presence and the ability for people to look up stuff online and find it out quickly is one of the factors that influences whether or not we even get considered. And so if we want to push on some of these things where we say we want to help
What was the
promote
total
town,
cost of that?
it's another $1,400. So it's not a big number, but I recognize we're in a default budget. Now, we did save 1,000.
We did.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm a
We
proponent
saved
of
on the
that.
mowing, right?
Yeah, we did.
I'm a proponent of that, and if you could just get the final numbers and maybe put that on the agenda for full discussion next time.
Okay.
But that one, I think, is important for our economic development. I just want to mention that I was talking about having a little lunch of Chinese food, maybe some Tuesday for the folks here on staff. I wanted to know if there was any concerns or objections with me doing that.
What, you were gonna bring in Chinese food for the staff here?
Yeah,
You were gonna problem.
yeah.
You gonna make
I
it?
only like chicken fingers and the steak on a stick, I don't like any of the other stuff.
That would be teriyaki.
Steak on a stick? That's what my boys call it.
I'll make a note of that. Okay, but, I mean, there's no issues with doing that, would there?
If you wanna buy people food, I'm not gonna stop you.
Okay, well, I just wanted to check to make sure there was no issues or
Well,
problems. with
we
doing it.
might wanna make sure they don't have any food allergies, and then,
Peanuts, right?
yeah, so we might have to send out a
But
brochure.
we can get some that are just vegetarian and all that.
You just might wanna let them know.
Yeah,
I'll figure that all out. I just want to
I'm
just
just
make sure
kidding,
that
we're
there's
good,
no...
we're good.
No problem with me.
I don't
So,
have a problem.
Lunch on tap.
Selectwoman Boudreau mentioned that there's a coffee hour. The fire chief is having a coffee hour,
He did have one.
You
but
did.
there was no time or date associated with it. So it was already,
There was time
Was
to
that Friday?
It was a week ago Friday.
had one person.
He,
That's not a bad thing, it's a start.
It's a start.
but he plans on having another one, I think, in the afternoon,
The
like
evening.
evening hours, like 5 or 6.
so how do these get publicized? Because I missed it, I
I
apologize.
saw it on Facebook.
Huh?
I saw it on
It was on
Facebook.
Facebook.
You put
That's
it on
how I-
Facebook, it was on the website.
On our town website?
Wasn't it on Northwood Community
It was
Chat?
on the
Yeah.
community chat, so
Okay.
yeah.
But the
Okay.
fire department actually has a Facebook page too. You might
Yeah,
find
so you have to
something.
monitor all that, okay. We talked about raises earlier. And the roads, we already discussed, so those, we have a recommendation, at least in start. I guess we'll get a more formal recommendation on the highway committee.
You have a real nice committee.
Okay, so then, that's it, thank you.
Dave, any comments? I know you had your list of.
Yeah,
things you wanted
And I
to
got your
discuss.
list here, Dick.
Okay, well, just to start with that list I had, can I put that on the agenda for next meeting? And it's basically,
Several items.
yeah, a couple items just to find out what we're doing for the
Well, didn't we
future.
kind of tackle the budget, new totals? Oh,
Well, I have a question right now.
Sorry, Dave.
okay.
No, I didn't want to tie us all up, and when you said, I agree with you that we should have something on a budget so that we'll know we're gonna discuss those things. I mean, if somebody wants to discuss tonight what the heck I wrote down, I can't remember, but, if I could go to the budget, I just want to understand, I'm gonna meet with the budget committee next week. So we have a budget, and we're using the default budget.
We have to.
All the rest of the departments are on board, they're all got this budget, they're not using the one they proposed,
Yes, they have to.
okay?
What night is the budget meeting?
It's a
16.
Tuesday, I thought I
I
broke
thought it
it.
was Wednesday.
It's always
Wednesday?
Wednesday, but for some reason, I don't know why. It's Tuesday, I was
Were you gonna
surprised.
come in, were you gonna work with him to?
I asked her, yeah, I will call her.
I think
and-
you should go.
Thanks.
When is it? It's not on the
She's
calendar.
All right, And anyways,
I was actually gonna send Jen, but we'll talk about it.
It might
But
be
my
Chicken
question-
We have
Food
to pay her by
Tuesday.
the hour.
so I mean, those will be the
Well, she's
questions
ready to
that
kill
they'll
me.
ask us. The fire chief's pay,
Yeah,
he was in the budget for like $60,000 or $70,000, right?
he's got a contract.
Get a contract.
And that contract is not in here, though, in this.
No,
No, his
so,
contract, go ahead.
oh, and, we had someone leave that was a high, what, 48,000?
Oh,
And then we took the $20,000 stipend for the fire chief, so we took that
took the
high.
full-time position and the stipend of fire chief and put them together.
The fire chief stipend was $20,000, and the chief took half.
10,000, I thought.
No, it's 20. And then the other half he divvied up amongst like the lieutenants and stuff. But that whole $20,000 stipend and that salary is
The
going.
full-time salary, but was merged into one position to be the fire chief. And there was enough money to do that.
Okay, so you took the 10,000 for the fire chief's
It's
salary.
20,000.
And the-
20, 'cause-
And fire department officer stipend was 10,000.
Because
Yeah.
they were
So
doing
those
the
are the
paperwork.
That's 20,000.
Okay, I just
And
want
then
to
you
make
add
sure.
that to that salary position of the vacant position that we used that. So we took away one of the full-time firefighters and used that in the stipends to create the chief's position.
All right,
And the
so
reason why
eventually
the-
will this get a different,
That's
this
gotta
will
be
be
a fix.
That'll be
adjusted?
cleaned up when we redo, well, next
Yeah, I gotta
year's
fix
budget.
this up.
So we're not actually taking like, the stipend
get it
from the
fixed.
lieutenants and stuff, that was because they were doing paperwork, but now the chief is doing it.
Yeah.
So they're still getting the regular
Yeah,
stipend,
they still get stipends, it
just not the paperwork stipend.
Okay. And I still have a question, and I would like to put it on for the next agenda, is what are we going to be doing for newspaper ads, and how are we going to, so,
Yeah.
Thought we she's got a plan.
Okay,
Well, I
well,
don't
gonna
have
make
a-
her own
I have an
newspaper.
answer for the newspaper. I don't know. We have to put it in an actual newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And I did look around and we're gonna find the
Concord
cheapest.
Monitor's the
Concord the
cheapest.
Monitor's the cheapest one. And we do it during the middle of the week and we have to note wherever we're putting it. So if we put it in the website, we also put that we've put it in the Concord
Concord
Monitor
Monitor on the website.
on the website.
that is, and every town is still putting in,
They have to amend the law.
They have
So
to
The
amend the law.
statute would have to
They
be
really
amended.
need to, though.
And that's, my thought was, we need to reach out to our reps.
Legislators.
right, I
legislators
mean,
and let them know that-
who determines what's a real newspaper?
It's
Oh,
a,
anything,
it's
anything
So,
Print.
so a one-sheet newspaper from Stratford that they have all this thing in, that's not a newspaper?
like the Sun. The Sun
Right,
was
the
a
Sun
real
was a-
news- the Sun was a
okay.
newspaper.
Okay, but what about like that coffee thing that comes out that they have?
You mean the
What?
forum? You mean like the
No.
coffee shop? The
No,
thing that
the
goes?
coffee
No.
town thing.
Well, that's
Like a
more than one
newsletter.
page.
I think it would pass muster.
Yeah.
What coffee? What are you talking about? The coffee shop?
It's a coffee.
You know, you go
town.
down like to the,
It's a pizza place.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think you'd be pushing it.
It's
on that.
printed and
It's
it's
printed,
available.
but
It's
I have
every
to get a
week.
copy of it and be able to prove that we posted it there.
You might want to get
I got a legal, I
not a
don't know.
legal opinion, but well, if
Well,
the
NHMA.
lawyer says we can put it in the coffee house, I'm fine with that. But I'm.
I would like to see this
I-
coffee house.
Then again, what is the
I want the
regulation that you're saying that you gotta put into the paper? What do we have to put in the paper?
We have
We
to
need
legal
we need a
notice.
janitor, we're gonna pay $10 an
No,
hour.
No, it's a legal notice.
for
Legal,
public.
legal
Legal
notices.
notices.
And the other
Legal
thing is,
notices.
here's the thing, how often does the coffee house come out? Weekly?
know.
I think it's
Monthly?
monthly.
I've never
See,
seen it.
I think it's week.
Well, I'm just gonna say, it has to be in something that comes out at least once a week.
oh, well, then it might not.
Daily, you know, because if it comes out once a month, it's like,
No.
well, you're gonna have to wait, you're gonna have to
Well,
figure out how to.
for now, let's stick with Concord.
So is Concord going to be a
You
newspaper?
gotta then notify all the people in the town that that's our newspaper of
And how do we
record.
do that?
You
Because
put
I
it
don't
on
get
the
the Concord
website.
Monitor.
You put it on
You
the
put it in the
website.
Concord Monitor.
Post it on the
I know,
website,
it's
and then you
so
post,
It's not my fault the sun.
No, it's crazy.
So I just want to say, during my my weekly office hours this week, which have been very successful, by the way.
You've had people come?
Yeah, it's quite a few actually.
No, you can't count your friends.
We're on flight night?
You can't count friends.
Actual residents,
Real people.
real people.
The residents and friends.
So one of the folks who stopped by suggested that a really interesting fix to our issue of public notice, beyond compliance, right, but actually getting information out to folks. He suggested the idea of just a kiosk down by the exit of the transfer station where we could post notices, informational stuff. It'd be a simple build. It would be really low cost in terms of resources. And in terms of town facilities, I would say that's one place where probably the greatest percentage of folks are going.
But are you,
Wait, that's
then
not
you're
just
encouraging
selectmen's
people to
comments.
actually get out of their car at the end of the road?
What's that?
Well, people out of their car right there in the road?
That's not a big deal. It's like, kind of like putting up a thing with the,
Or like up by like where the sand and stuff is, maybe up there further?
You could put it in the,
I mean, we
in the
can
flop shop.
discuss location, but I don't think that's a bad idea.
No, no.
But Dave, do you have anything else?
Well, that's what I mean, is, what notices do we have to
Legal
post?
Oh, legal notices.
Legal.
So like a butters, like the planning board wants to do something, or we gotta put a note.
public
like,
hearing.
Anything public hearings. But if.
Zoning board.
Technically, for advertising positions, we can post them, I mean,
Not in the new personnel
you don't
policy.
you don't have to post jobs in the paper.
Okay,
It's just legal.
we spent probably what, over, almost $2,000 putting things into the, into the Suncook Valley Sun?
It was $50.
No, for the whole year.
Yeah.
I saw,
Yeah.
so how much is that, you think you're
It
gonna
was
spend?
$50 for Suncook
How
Sun
much-
for a
well,
week.
Tell them how
and-
much you're paying for the ad you're putting in
Is it
there.
150?
$160,
It's gonna be way
$169
more
and change.
expensive.
Right.
Of course,
It's
that's why I
triple the
don't
price.
understand why we can't get some way around this.
Because
It's a statute.
Because the statute has
Statute
not
says-
been upgraded for the technology. Nobody, papers are dying, okay? It's just like the post office. They still got a post office, but that's not gonna be around much longer.
They deliver on Sundays now.
Yeah, they do.
What?
I don't think we have to
They're
go to
not.
the
I mean-
Concord. I just can't see tripling what we're gonna be spending.
I called, I got a legal opinion, I said, this is ridiculous, we're not keeping up with the times.
It's
And
gotta
I
be
said,
in a newspaper. Well, there's
It's
no,
gonna be in the RS.
how many people buy that one? How many?
does.
We're
The law
split,
needs-
we're
I
split
said,
three.
which
The
paper?
law needs to be changed, but nobody's put a bill in.
I said, can I look
So
at
let them
some-
come down and with the, at 6 in the morning and arrest us all with the
Wait, is the fine
FBI,
gonna be
you know?
cheaper than
Don't do it.
$160 a week?
All right, let me give you an example.
Or,
No, I'll give you an example. Somebody like, I'm not gonna mention any names,
Yeah.
gets a hair across their butt, next thing I know, we gotta pay $5,000 to defend it in court.
Yeah, I wonder who that is.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying hypothetically.
all right.
I'm not saying anybody would do that.
No.
I know, I see legal ads from the lawyers in the papers, when I do buy that newspaper, but what do we have to have? Does it tell us we have to have a certain size?
Well, it tells
So if we just put the little note under, like when they say needed handyman, and it's like 2 lines
yeah,
in the
it's in the
thing.
you
That's
put it
all
in
we
the
need.
classifieds.
And that's $160?
It's legal notices, you have to put something
gotta-
that
yeah,
you
you
have
have
to be
to say
able
it's
to
a
read it.
legal notice.
I mean, I can't put it so that the
I
font
would-
is so small
Nobody
that
reads
I'm.
the paper, nobody,
Doesn't matter.
I know that they don't, but, so then that,
I said, I
it
even
doesn't
said
say
to
what size you gotta do it.
no, I said to the lawyer, I said, can I put it in some obscure paper up on the Canadian border that nobody's gonna read? And she laughed at me and said, no. I said, okay.
No, the statutes
And
stipulate,
they
you
said it has
gotta
to
do
be
it.
some paper that's
Some
red.
of, some
In
state,
this
some of the
area.
state paper, anything the state does, it has to be in a paper that's statewide. It's basically the union leader.
I said that. They said some paper that's red in this area. I said, how do I know that? And they
Well,
said,
it's from Concord Water.
and she said the Concord Water or the Fosters, and the Fosters was much more expensive. So
Yeah, oh yeah, them in Portsmouth. It's crazy.
I think it's the same, and they own Portsmouth now.
Yeah, they do.
Portsmouth bought them, they own
yeah,
them,
they
yeah.
bought
And
it.
Foster's by Portsmouth, yeah, I
No,
think
the other way around. The
Because-
company that owns both of them, there's one big company that owns them. All right, that was, well then, while we're talking about it, can we get a little motion out to our state representatives that they could be a priority?
Yeah, the only thing is the session's wrapped
Yeah,
up. You gotta wait till next year.
They could start jawboning or
Well,
whatever.
no, you bring that to them, say, hey, here's
So you
the
would be
issue.
cheaper to almost, no, like I said before, that where I grew up is, you got it in the mail. It would be cheaper to put down, you only have like six
You'd have to
abutters.
mail- You'd have to,
you know.
no, like on a public notice, you'd have to mail it to
Public
every
notice, you'd
household.
have to do everything. Yeah, all right, I don't want to spend any more time, I'm just upset.
No, it's good.
I get upset at dumb little things, that's
No,
a
it's
dumb
okay.
little
I
thing.
understand. Beth? Selectmen's comments?
Oh, are we gonna be hiring lifeguards soon?
Well, that's a good question.
You're gonna be hiring what?
Lifeguards.
I have to take a step back from this. No. The beach coordinator expressed interest into reaching out to the rec director.
Did you get my text?
She did, but technically the rec director's not employed yet. Is that correct?
Is that,
So my question is, I'm sure if she called her, she'd probably get a call back, hopefully. I would assume so. But the beach coordinator would like to participate in the interviews because she'll actually be supervising these people.
Makes sense.
is recreation director / whatever the title is that a position where we could approve to start pending verification of the, because we all
think they
kind of know, and we already know that she's been through a couple of different checks for different, I mean, isn't
Was
that?
she also waiting though to give her notice for her job, like give a 2 weeks notice?
Yeah, but that'll be,
Okay.
there'll be
I
time.
mean, saying, could we just
I think
say,
if it-
start her on a certain date?
And if those tasks are going to be
Pending-
administrative rather
Yeah.
than, direct service with youth.
Yeah, I mean, if she's not with youth, I'd feel
Yeah.
comfortable with it. I'm
The
a
selectmen
stickler
have to
about those
approve all
things.
hires.
Yeah.
But she.
We did
she could
approve her, it was
Yeah, you
pending
did
background.
approve her.
No, I'm talking about to do the lifeguard. She'd
Yeah.
have
Yes.
to interview the lifeguard to say, here's my
And
recommendation.
then she could
Correct.
bring the recommendation, so I mean,
But we could approve the
So by starting
recreation
the
director right now to start on a certain
yeah.
date, and
But would it, right, and would it make sense to approve her now or to
Yes.
start next week or whatever? And she can give her
start
2
doing
weeks
some work.
to start getting,
What are you waiting for, a background check? Isn't she got one for the school?
well, she's on the rec department.
well, if you're a volunteer at the school, which she would have
Yeah,
been,
she would have gotten one for recommended.
yeah.
So the town already did one.
I don't
She already
see
had one
I don't
for the
see
town,
one.
but we have to get it
I didn't
again.
find one, but that doesn't mean anything.
She's been on the committee for like
she
maybe
would've had
3 or 4 years.
Which is such a crazy thing, because you can be elected, and we're all making all kinds of, none of us have had to go and get it done.
I did for rec.
But I mean, being an elected person,
Well,
there's
yeah,
no,
because you're elected.
yeah, I know. Well, okay, so can
I'd
I,
like to approve her for some number of hours of non-youth contact hours before her background check comes in, if that's necessary to get the ball rolling.
Well, not only just for swim, but also to start, you know,
Organization.
organizing the stuff and
You have
making
to
a
have-
list.
For
and-
example, you're supposed to have the beaches certified for swim lessons. So that they can actually get their swim certificates. And I don't think it's like
The
all.
lifeguards?
No,
But
the
we need to-
lifeguards
I've two
certified,
town beaches
but,
before.
for example,
Two
our
town
beach
beaches.
coordinator has a advanced, took an advanced course that she can actually teach swimming.
Right, it's a whole different course, I understand.
Water safety instructor.
I want to go back to getting the recreation director
So I
started.
guess I'd like to
as
make a
soon as
motion that we can
possible.
have her start, I mean, even there's things like the storage unit that's gotta be moved over. I mean, there's so much
There's stuff to
that she can, that position can do without working with children right
I
now.
would feel, I'm just a stickler about the kid thing, and that's just me, but maybe we can have her come in and get organized and ready to go, so that as soon as that paperwork comes in, she can hit the ground running.
I would like her also to see what we have and make an inventory of what we do have for supplies. I
That
think
brings us
that's,
to that after the next item.
so I'd like to make a motion to have the rec director start working as office hours
Administrative work.
Administrative.
without the children.
To administrative.
Yeah.
The only thing coming up is a Easter egg hunt, and you can just say would prefer that she's not, if that's what your concern is, being with kids.
Oh,
But,
what you
but
said,
that,
the one
that,
I think- I'm
that's,
not worried.
I think the Easter egg hunt, you're there though, with
Say
this
the
parents
check got
there. She's
messed
not
up,
actually
right?
responsible for
That
that.
was downstairs. That check got that messed up.
Oh, okay.
So I guess I would have you ask her what day she would be available. I could do the 15th, I mean, whatever, I'm
Why
not sure
don't you
when.
do
Why don't you
tentative
give
the
me-
15th?
Why don't you let me work with her on
Okay.
that?
Okay,
All right, are you all set, Beth?
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be nice, I have no selectmen's
Wait,
comments.
we can make a motion?
Should we vote
Yeah.
on
Oh, sorry.
Motion to hire to get her started.
Make a motion to have our rec director, Amy Hanavan, start tentatively on the 15th. You can discuss a start date with her.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Matt. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, I don't have any selectmen's comments. Do you have any selectmen's comments?
Just a quick one. So I would like to,
Oh, you want to talk about your billboard?
so, yeah, so I do like the idea of a kiosk at the transfer station, just as a place to post public information, similar to what we post outside the town hall door, except I think it's probably more accessible and is going to be seen by more folks. If it's smaller stuff, maybe in a place where it would be safe for folks to get out and read.
What's the
Bigger
matter-
stuff, bigger.
What
Why
about
don't
the
we put it on
swap
the
shop?
side of the swap shop?
That's a great idea.
Swap shop.
Yeah.
Put it right on
So
the
we need
side.
some type of like plexiglass.
Like an overhang with some
Yeah,
plexi, yeah.
Yeah,
But we can even
The
print,
Amstrad building, do they still have a kiosky thing? Remember they had that for years?
Maybe we
Cave
can
in.
have the
Did
guys
it cave in?
You mean the one that was at the end of the road? or the-
No,
build it.
absolutely, I think we could probably build it with
no, I think
It was, it's the
it used to be a realtor, now it's a job place.
transfer was.
Oh,
There
that
was,
fell
there
over.
was, no, there was a little, did it fall over?
Yeah, I think it went down the front.
I don't know what that means.
Not the sign, it was like a little, like a three-sided sign, like a trifold with a roof on it.
Oh.
I don't know,
Well,
maybe they-
while we're,
what's wrong, Gary?
while we're talking about all kinds of signs, how about it we maybe ask our town administrator to check and see what the cost of one of those signs that you see at a business, you know? We don't need the one that lights up with an arrow, but we need one
Oh,
to put right out front so we can change the
we might
letters
be getting a
on.
donated one,
Yeah, I heard
Yeah, well,
that.
that's
a hand-me-down.
That's a
not the
hand-
one from the
that's
school.
good.
Let's wait and see.
We wait and
Let's
see.
wait on that.
Well, I would say check out now, maybe we'll get something even sooner, because you're gonna have to put the posts
No
up
one
and
will
everything.
buy it this year.
Get the Boy Scouts to build something.
Do you have anything else?
The only other thing is I want to get the Economic Development Committee up and running, so I would like to get the the process going. I'd like to start a committee of 7 members, meeting monthly. I'm gonna need to do some, recruitment of those 7 members. So I'd like the committee to exist in order to do so.
So what would you like to do
So I'd
with
like
that
to move
economic
to-
committee?
To
Once a month?
allow us to recruit membership for a 7-member economic development committee.
So motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second in the discussion.
Any discussion?
I'm not in favor of 7. I still would like to find out if we can have a committee that of 3 plus or 5 plus. Over the years, we've seen how hard it is to get committee members, and then when you get a committee, to keep a quorum, so.
Why do you think 7?
If you want 7, I just don't think 7, I think it's too many.
I think he's trying to get cross-section of,
I'm trying, it's exactly right. I need, I'm trying to reach out to business owners from a wide variety of folks in town. We've got plenty of business owners in town. I think expecting 4 to show up to vote on something is not that heavy of a lift.
Okay, you're
Especially
the other
where,
one doing it. I just would like to see a way how we could word it so that we have
You
a
wanna
committee
word it so
of
you
3
can-
plus. So if we have, whatever the number is, so that you'll always be able to have a meeting when you schedule it.
So why don't we say that I'll
Yeah, you decide, but
amend my motion.
I was gonna make a suggestion though. If you want to have business owners that don't own businesses in town, but don't live in town because they have a business in town, that you might appreciate their input.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, like there's people that own businesses in town that actually don't live in town.
I mean, do we have
98%
a
of the,
policy on the
antique
book
owners-
somewhere that
Well, typically when
dictates
you
a
have these
committee
committees, you're
member has
supposed
to
to
be a
do
resident?
residents. It's supposed to be people that live in town, but
Other towns don't.
I was gonna say, I
I
don't,
think you could say,
Glenn was on the
well,
city
that's because
complex
he's an
committee.
employee. But, yeah, no, I'm saying you can. We just probably have to word the motion to allow
Do you?
business owners that don't live in town to be on the committee. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I've heard of that, other towns.
Yeah.
For the economic development, yeah. Business owners.
So just say a committee of 7 people that can also include business owners that don't actually reside in town. But
Like to move to create an economic development committee consisting of, I'm actually gonna change it to a minimum of 5 members, including non-residents who may have business interests in town.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none?
No.
Okay.
No, I think I
Seeing
know
none?
someone that would join.
Okay, seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Do you know Mike Magoon?
He lives in town.
He does live in town, and he actually messaged me saying he would like to start up something
And
similar to
doesn't
this.
he teach business?
Yes.
He does, yeah.
Yeah,
So I'll reach out to Mike.
yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay, is there any other business to come before us?
The only thing was the memo from the police chief.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure you read it.
I didn't get it.
To what?
It was in
The
the,
memo
Is
from the
that the one that
police chief.
said confidential?
Oh, yeah, were we supposed to discuss that tonight?
Well, what was,
Memo,
okay.
yeah, other business.
Oh,
It's on the agenda.
okay, sorry. I just don't want to put myself up there.
I think everybody's.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is this non-public?
Well, I mean, if we're gonna talk about it, it's non-public. I just wanted to know you read it.
Yes, I read it.
I did read this.
Yeah.
I got a, can we ask questions, or do we need to be in non-public?
You probably should be in non-public.
Yeah.
If you're gonna talk about the person, you should be in non-public. If you just wanna.
I think we need to go to non-public,
I think we better go to non-public so I don't miss a step.
because there's no citizens forum.
I'm
All
bad
right,
at that.
so,
I always think, boom, you do need it.
okay, can we go into non-public under RSA 91A, paragraph 2, 3, what's the one that's,
C.
reputation?
See,
C. Somebody want to move
So
that?
moved.
Second.
Move second.
yeah.
I'll do, moved by Beth, second by Hal, roll call Hal.
Al, yes.
Yes.
You Dave, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, Scott.
Matt, yes.
Okay, we're now in non-public. All right, can I get a motion to come out of non-public?
So moved.
Dave, second.
Second.
Beth? Hal, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
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 Matt Friday.
I, Scott, votes yes. So we're now at a non-public. Can I get a motion to seal the minutes indefinitely of the non-public?
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Could I get a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. We are now adjourned.